defer to the second half, so the Spartans will start with the football. Ivan Mora does the kickoff duties for Wake Forest, the redshirt freshman punter out of Dalton, Georgia. Demon Deacons look to stay perfect. We're underway in Winston-Salem. So Juwan Carter and the Spartans will start at their own 25. And as you said, EJ, this guy is dangerous with his arm and his legs. By the time he leaves Norfolk, he will be their all-time leader in total offense. Absolutely, Drew. When you watch the tape of him, he has a strong, quick release. Now, he did have a couple balls out to the flat where they sailed on him, but a lot of times than not, he did a great job of being accurate, his decision-making. And, you know, sometimes when quarterbacks are young, they want to try to be the hero. They want to try to make that big play every time. I think Juwan does a great job of taking what the defense gives him. Dave Clawson said he's a really good player. He could probably play at the FBS level if he wanted to. He's from Virginia, a native of Richmond. On first down, the give, and they keep it on the ground with Raquan Smith, the running back. Ball came loose, and it's Wake Forest football. One play, one turnover. Demon Deacons going the other direction. He's got a zone run right here. And this actually might get called back, Drew. I think the elbow was on the ground. I'm sure this is going to be reviewed, but if not, what a great way to start for the defense of Wake Forest. And our guy, Rondell Bothroyd, didn't get a chance to play a bunch last week, but today obviously making an impact there at number 40. Yeah, Bothroyd, as you mentioned, EJ, didn't get to start last week, didn't play in the first half because he was ejected in the bowl game last year against Wisconsin in the second half, had to sit out the first half last week. So his first play of his first start of 2021, he recovers a fumble. Now, as you said, they are going to review this. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll tell you if that was a fumble by Raquan Smith and if Wake Forest has it deep in Norfolk State territory. Timothy Hedgepath is our referee today for Wake Forest and Norfolk State. He's also the least popular guy in Winston-Salem right now. He overturns that call, but EJ, this was pretty obvious. Yeah, it was pretty obvious, Drew. You see the elbow hit the turf right before the ball pops out. So Norfolk State does not cough it up on their first play from scrimmage. And Juwan Carter and company go back to work from the shotgun on 2nd and 8. Well, read run pass option. Carter's got his man. That's to Kendall James, the preseason first-team All-MEAC wide receiver. A 14-yard gain and a first down for the Spartans. And again, Drew, a great decision right there by Juwan Carter. Taking what the defense is giving him. It looked like quarters coverage, corners playing soft, high safeties. Bang a slant right there to your receiver coming in. Doing a great job getting extra yards, getting north and south. James led the team with 37 catches in 2019, their last season. He's a transfer from Coastal Carolina. Lots of high-profile transfers on this Norfolk State team. On 1st and 10 from their own 46. They bleed the play clock. This is something we're going to get used to today, folks. Norfolk State lines up quickly, then waits for the play call, and that's a drop as Carter put it right on the hands of Marquis Ellington, but it brings up 2nd and 10. And again, Drew, you're just going to see this quarterback take what the defense is giving them. They want to play soft, run a hitch, bring it out there to Ellington, but he has to make that catch right there. EJ, that's got to be the most frustrating thing in the world as a quarterback, right? You know, there's other things that are frustrating, Drew, but that is one of them. When a receiver drops a ball that's right in his chest, but hey, look, as a quarterback, you have to have short-term memory and move on to the next play, see what they do here. Carter has thrown 2 passes. They've both been on the money. Back in the gun on 2nd down and 10. This time they keep it on the ground. Luke Masterson comes in for the tackle on Cameron Brent. And Masterson was a guy who Dave Clawson highlighted right away when we talked with him yesterday, EJ. He said Masterson was tackling everything in his first real game as a box linebacker. He did, Drew, and he just talked about the fact that he has the poise. He has the ability to be good in coverage, not just coming up and making a play in the run game, but also implementing the defense when they go out to pass. Norfolk State was 5 of 15 on 3rd down last week at Toledo. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the right for Carter. Man coverage here. Carter to throw. Got him in over the middle. That's a first down, Spartans. Lots of room for Justin Smith, the 6th-year senior and a captain on this Norfolk State offense.
Yeah, and a great play call right there on third down. Understanding that it's man-to-man coverage, you bring a drag in right here by Justin Smith. And again, the quarterback, full field progression, starting on the left, coming back to his right across the middle. Justin Smith doing a great job of catching that ball, getting extra yards.
Yeah, EJ, that connection was really the one bright spot for Norfolk State in week 1, a 47-yard touchdown catch for Justin Smith, the only touchdown for Norfolk State on offense. But the Spartans now in Wake Forest territory, setting up shop at the 37-yard line. Again, they keep it on the ground. Again, it's not really going anywhere. Deion Bergen is there to blow it up. It was Brent on the carry for the Spartans.
Yeah, no chance by the running back right there when 95 Bergen busts through the line of scrimmage, coming up with a nice tackle for loss. Really want to set the tone here for this Wake defense, especially up front, down there in the trenches with the defensive lineman.
Bergen, the starting nose tackle, 6'1", 294 out of Kissimmee, Florida. Here's the 7th play of the drive for the Spartans. You see number 2 in the backfield in motion next to Carter. That's Kevin Johnson, another first-teamer in the conference preseason. He gets the call on 2nd down and 12, and you see the shiftiness. Can't elude the tackle of Travion Red, the starting rover for Wake Forest. Another 3rd down and long coming up for the Spartans.
And Red is one of those guys that's always going to be in the box all day long. This Norfolk State offense likes to do a lot of zone read. Check with me to the sideline, as you can tell when they're looking over there. But Travion Reed is going to be all over the field, whether he's playing in coverage or coming up to make a tackle. It's a big one right there.
Norfolk State just converted a 3rd and 6. This one a little bit longer. 3rd down and 10 for the Spartans. Five on the play clock. This is comfortable territory for them. Will they get it off? They do. 3rd down and 10. Carter to throw. On the run, over the middle, got a man. 1st down, Norfolk State. Another 3rd down conversion, and again, it's Justin Smith.
Yeah, Drew, and this is a great connection right here between this quarterback and his receiver. When things break down, he moves up in the pocket, just gets that ball up and over the linebackers. Great throw, great catch. Another converted 1st down for the Spartans.
Impressive by Jawan Carter there, EJ, not to tuck it and run. I think as a freshman, that would have been his instinct. But now as a senior, he's looking to run more. He's improved in the pocket.
Absolutely, Drew. And his offensive coordinator talked about that, just saying he understands what to do when things break down. He's not going to get rattled. So it's going to be tough for this Wake Forest team to really get him off his spot mentally.
Yeah, B.T. Sherman, the Norfolk offensive coordinator, in his 5th year with the program. This time Carter has nothing to do. Rondell Bothroyd says, "You took away my fumble recovery, so here's a sack."
And defensive coordinator Coach Hemphill talked about this young man, Rondell Bothroyd, and the impact that he has. He said he's the for sure starter. Yes, Jasheen Davis had a great game last weekend, but this man is a sack master, someone that can be similar to the production they got in Boogie Basham last year, who's now with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Boogie Basham, a first-team All-ACC performer last year. Bothroyd's got big shoes to fill, but he looks good there. The redshirt sophomore out of Manchester, Connecticut. Norfolk State's first drive has lasted over 5.5 minutes, though. Sustaining one here in Winston-Salem. They keep it on the ground again. Masterson with the tackle, yanking down Kevin Johnson.
I'm going to tell you what, Drew, I love the burst that Kevin Johnson is having out of this backfield. This is a young man that is not afraid. He last year was, in 2019, was 3rd-team All-MEAC. So this man has a lot of ability. He could have probably played on the FBS level, but here at Norfolk State, it's going to be a big matchup for him against these linebackers.
Yeah, another impressive guy, EJ. He was a walk-on as a freshman in 2019, ended up as their leading rusher and total offense maker. But again, it's a 3rd down and long. They just keep getting longer and longer. Spartans 2 for 2 on 3rd down on this drive. 6 yards and 10 yards. This one's 13. Carter's got to throw. With time. Looking end zone. Incomplete. Brings up 4th down and 13. He was looking for Marquis Ellington, the 6th-year senior.
And the Deacons did a great job with their rush lanes, Drew. Just not trying to pin their ears back, go after the quarterback, because again, it's 3rd and 13. Make him stay in the pocket and throw the football down the field. An opportunity right there for Norfolk State. Should be a field goal opportunity here for the Spartans.
It's a 41-yard attempt for Josh Nardone. He was 1 for 1 on field goals last week at Toledo, made a 32-yarder. Nardone's a redshirt senior out of Virginia Beach. Looks to put the Spartans on the scoreboard first. And it curls in. Looks like my drives on the golf course, maybe not quite as much hook. That one works perfectly. 3-zip Norfolk State. The Spartans on the road on the board first.
Just dish it out there to your receivers and let them run for it. Understanding what to do on third down. When things break down, moves up in the pocket, gets the ball up and over the linebackers. Another strike right there to Justin Smith, giving the Spartans the opportunity to go up and get a field goal. Great start for these guys on offense.
Yeah, his completions were 14, 18, and 16 yards. Couple big third down conversions. And the Spartans are on the board first. 41-yard field goal from Josh Nardone. Makes it 3-zip NSU. Now we get a look at that Wake Forest offense. And we'll see if it's Jasir Taylor back deep to receive after his 99-yard kick return touchdown last week. Yes, sir. Number 6, the man with the Twitter handle @Superstar, was certainly a superstar last week. Kick return touchdown plus an interception that he almost housed. And Norfolk State says, we want no part of that.
And Drew, that's a sign of respect right there for the young man, Jasir Taylor. Give him a nice little squib kick. Didn't quite work out the way they wanted it to. Gonna have a flag here.
First down, Wake Forest.
It'll be good field position for Wake Forest, but if you're Norfolk State, that's a penalty you're willing to pay to keep it out of the hands of number 6 and avoid 6 points on the scoreboard. So Wake Forest offense comes out. They averaged 36 points per game last year. That was a program record. They've scored 30-plus points per game in 4 consecutive seasons, and it was more the same last week against ODU with Sam Hartman, the quarterback. Another guy, EJ, who by the time he leaves Winston-Salem could rewrite the record books for Wake Forest.
Absolutely. He's already number 7 at Wake in career passing yards, over 5,000. Excellent quarterback. Big year ahead for him, understanding how to deal with adversity and moving past it. Great opportunities for this young man in this one.
So Hartman's going to have to wait on offense. That last play is under review to see if Wake Forest touched it. We've got their field. We get our first look at Sam Hartman and Wake Forest. The call stood on the penalty on the kickoff, so the Demon Deacons start at their own 35-yard line. Hartman to throw on the first play from scrimmage. He's got a man, and that's a catch for A.T. Perry, who had a great game last week against Old Dominion with a big-time touchdown, and he starts with a solid gain on first down.
A.T. Perry, a 6'5" receiver out of Lake Worth, Florida. This guy, they're expecting a huge season from him. You talk about those 50-50 balls where a quarterback just puts it up like a rebound. A.T. Perry can certainly come down with it.
This is the headliner in that receiver group. Jaquarii Roberson's got a first down on the screen.
And Drew, I think they need to get this young man the ball as much as possible. He is a freak athlete. He's one of those guys you can throw him a bubble screen, a slant, 5-yard catch, and you can take him to the house.
Yeah, last year Roberson led the conference in catches and yards per game. There's an injury on the field for Norfolk State. That's Marquis Hall, and that's a bad sign for the Spartans. He's a captain at middle linebacker, and when they were choosing captains, he received the most votes of anyone on the team. So good to see him getting back up under his own power. So, EJ, we've seen 2 plays from Wake Forest offense so far, 2 quick hitters through the air. You like what you see?
I do. Anytime the quarterback is in his first series, just let him go out there and take what the defense is giving him. I think that's so important. A lot of times we try to complicate the game of football, Drew. If the DB's off, let your receiver just run a hitch, run a slant, run a curl, give him the ball, let him make his magic happen.
First handoff of the game for Wake Forest. It's Christian Beal-Smith from right here in Winston-Salem. Had 2 touchdowns last week, and on his first carry, he's got a first down, Wake Forest.
A great job by Beal-Smith. Being patient here, you're going to see that right guard, Loic Nagasamanaya, come across
nice.
and get a great pitch-out block right there on the NSU defensive tackles. Great game by Wake Forest offense.
That time they waited for the mesh, gave it to Beal-Smith. He's got more green grass and another first down for the Deeks.
And Drew, this is something that the defensive coordinator, Steve Adams, talked about. They can't lose leverage on this Demon Deacon offense. These guys have speed when they get to the outside, and they can also run you over too. It's gonna be a tough day for the Spartans.
24 yards on the rip for Beal-Smith. Wake Forest in the red zone where they are very efficient. Hartman finds Perry and he spins down inside the 5. 11-yard gain, move the sticks again.
First down after first down, Drew. It's hard to stop the bleeding right now for the Spartans. These guys are rolling, they're efficient, they're confident. Love the footwork from Sam Hartman. Just dishing out the ball, letting the receivers make the magic happen.
And the Demon Deacons will not slow down. Offensive coordinator Warren Ruggiero says if they're rolling, they'll run 90 plays in a game. Hartman keeps it. The quarterback to the house.
Putting his shoulder down, Drew. I love it. Great run, great play design. QB lead. Running back end up being the lead blocker right here. Escorting Sam Hartman in for 6. Love the big man putting his shoulder down. Showing that edge for the offense. Let's go.
Sam Hartman looking a little like E.J. Manuel there, dishing out punishment from the quarterback position.
This guy's gritty. I'm telling you, he's gritty. He is a tough player. He's gone through so much mentally and physically. Great start for him in this first series.
Hartman scored 2 touchdowns on the ground last year. He's got his first one with his legs in 2021. Extra point is good for Nick Skiba. And that was not a typo you just saw on that drive summary. 6 plays, 61 yards, a minute 47. 107 seconds, that's all it takes for them to move down the field, EJ.
And Drew, I'm gonna be honest, man, this might be like this all day long because this offense is excellent, especially from what I saw versus ODU. These guys picking up right exactly where they left off last weekend. And again, Sam Hartman just doing a great job of dishing out the football. If the defense is going to give you a curl, if they're going to give you a slant, just take it. Don't try to make the game too hard. Great drive, great start. See what the defense does in this next drive.
Yeah, he's got great weapons, including Christian Beal-Smith. And EJ, Dave Clawson told us he wants to see more from the run game. He got it on that first drive.
Absolutely, and Christian Beal-Smith did a great job of not just running through the holes, but being patient. You see his shoulders are square to the line of scrimmage, allowing the block to develop, reading the linebackers, and again, another touchdown run here for Sam Hartman. Christian Beal-Smith being a team player, leading in like a nice fullback right there, helping Sam Hartman get in for 6 right here.
Yeah, I think Sam Hartman saw Christian Beal-Smith having so much fun on the ground. He said, I want to get in on that. I want to cash out for 6.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Ivan Mora kicks it away for Wake Forest. It'll be another touchback for Norfolk State and head coach Dawson Odoms, who's in his first year at Norfolk State, didn't arrive in Norfolk until May, did not have spring practice, and then he had a few months to get his team ready for the season opener. This is a guy with a long history at some pretty solid programs, EJ, especially Southern, where they were really solid during his 8 years as head coach.
Extremely solid, Drew, and when we had a chance to talk to him in our production meeting, I love what I heard from Coach Odoms. He's trying to build a program here at Norfolk State. He's not just here for 2 years, 3 years. He wants to be a pillar in what they're doing in the football program, and not just that football program, but also in the community of Norfolk, Virginia. A great man to have in this position. A storied program, a lot of tradition. I think he's going to do a great job there.
And a lot of people ask, why would you leave Southern to take over at Norfolk State? The Spartans haven't had a winning season in a decade. Southern is a powerhouse, and he won there. But Odom said, you want to be at a place where you feel wanted. He didn't throw anyone under the bus at Southern, but he was ready for a fresh start at Norfolk State. Their offense starts at the 25, and the give to Kevin Johnson. He's brought down by Rondell Bothroyd. And Odom's here in his first season. It was a rough first game at Toledo, but EJ, he said they played inspired. Aside from a few mishaps on special teams and defense, he liked what he saw for the most part.
Absolutely, Drew. And he talked just about the discipline that his team is gaining. And he's only been there since May. So it's taken a while. And he says, hey, look, I might not be able to reach the guys that are seniors, that are juniors, but the freshmen, the redshirt freshmen, the sophomores, the pups, those guys are going to start buying into the DNA what we're trying to preach here at Norfolk State. Things are going to turn around.
Yeah, and it didn't take him long to turn it around at Southern. You just saw In just his second season as the full-time head coach, they won the SWAC. Now coaching in the MEAC at Norfolk State. Spartans on 2nd down and 7. Again, it's on the ground. Again, it's Johnson. And again, not a whole lot there as Luigi Villain, the transfer from Michigan, comes in to make the stop.
And it's tough for the Spartans to get a push against this defensive line. You got Miles Fox in there, 297. Doing a great job of filling up the gap, not allowing Kevin Johnson to get any speed to get through that hole. Great stop right there for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. 3rd and 7, big opportunity here for quarterback Jamal Carter.
Carter converted 2 of these on their first drive, which lasted more than 6.5 minutes. He's got 3 wide receivers. And the running back is still Johnson, who's also a threat to catch the ball out of the backfield. Carter on 3rd and 7, tucks it for the first time today. And that is a first down, Norfolk State. Jawan Carter, he's dangerous with the arm and with the legs. 8-yard gain for number 8. It's enough for a first down.
A great pickup right here. An understanding of Jawan Carter. Hey, if nobody's over there to the right, let me just take off and run and get the first down myself. This is something that Coach Clausen talked about, man. You can't lose leverage on this young guy because he'll take off and he will hurt you as he converts there for a first down.
See Jawan Carter taking a lot of signals from the sideline. He can handle it. This is his 5th year in the program. He's actually played every game of his college career, became the starter in his 3rd game of his freshman season, and he's still here in Norfolk. That time he hands it off to Cameron Brent for a chunk on first down.
And Drew, when you play a quarterback like Jawan Carter, it actually changes the aspect of rushing the quarterback. A lot of times the defensive ends, they want to pin their ears back, become werewolves and get after the quarterback, but sometimes you almost just have to kind of stock block and make sure you hold up your responsibility, because if you get out of gap, if you get out of line, he will take off like he did for that pass 3rd down, and he will convert every single time.
The defensive coordinator Lyle Hempel told us, EJ, that they might run a little more zone on the back end as opposed to man, because you just got to keep your eyes on number 8.
Absolutely.
4 runs, no passes just yet for Norfolk State on this drive. And they keep it on the ground. Again, it's Brent. That time Ryan Smenda, the linebacker, brings him down. 3rd down.
Yeah, Smenda has 6 tackles last week. Just doing a great job of filling the gap, reading his keys, watching the hole open and meeting the running back there. A nice, powerful tackle as they get him in 3rd down. It's a big situation right here. Let's see if they have another scramble by Jawan Carter, picking up for the first with his legs.
Norfolk State already 3 for 4 on 3rd down. They converted 2 long ones on that first drive.
And Drew, this is something interesting that the Norfolk State offense does. They have this check with me call where all the guys, they have a fake cadence, they look to the sideline, they get the call from the offensive coordinator, and they make a play.
Out of the backfield, it's Brent, sheds 1 tackle, and he's got the first down. 6-yard gain for Cameron Brent out of the backfield. Gavin Holmes couldn't bring him down. First down, Spartans.
And this is a tackle that Holmes is going to have to make in the open field. Brent's going to run through that every single time. If you don't bring your arms and run your feet, you just try to throw your shoulders and lunge at a guy, you're not going to get him down. Some great running backs, especially out there in space in the flat.
Yeah, Cameron Brent's a redshirt senior, 5'8", 200 out of Atlanta. Gavin Holmes, 5'11", 173, the freshman for Wake Forest. So the Spartans extend another drive. They're now 4 for 5 on 3rd down today. Carter on the give. Raekwon Smith again. Short gain on first down. EJ, I want to go back to what you were talking about with their offensive setup, how they rush to the line and then look to the sideline. What advantage does that give an offense?
It's a huge advantage, especially when your offensive coordinator, BT Sherman, is up top in the box. He can see the defense. He can see what coverage they're going to be in. So you have a fake cadence. You try to get them to jump off sides. If they don't, no worries. You look to the sideline. You get a signal from the sideline. They tell you, all right, this is the play we're going to get into, and then they run.
What do you think? You think they're going to snap it here, or are they going to wait?
I think they're going to go back with the check with me. If it hasn't been broke, don't try to fix it, my friend. It's been working all day.
Play clock again under 5. They get the snap off. And Smith is going nowhere. So the Wake Forest defensive line comes up big again. Deion Bergen, the first man there, on a loss of 2. Ryan Smenda also involved.
And Drew, this is what this offense does. It actually creates a light box. So I think there's about 5 guys in the box for Wake Forest's defense. Ryan Smenda doing a great job because now that puts the stress on him. If there's 5 guys in the box, you have 5 offensive linemen blocking 5 on defense. So he has to make that tackle because he's the only guy that's unblocked in that situation when the running back comes through the hole. So we have an injured player here on the field for Wake Forest.
Yeah, EJ, that's Kevin Pointer Jr., the transfer from Louisiana Monroe.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
Pointer still listed as a freshman with the new NCAA transfer rules, and after the COVID year, you'll see some strangeness on the depth charts. It's good to see Kevin Pointer Jr. walking off with some help from the training staff.
Young man transferring over from University of Louisiana Monroe. High school record, Drew, 13 sacks in his career. Is pretty impressive. This guy can get after the quarterback. Let's hope that he's back in this game pretty soon.
And EJ, that is a good point. There's a lot of depth on this Wake Forest defensive front. We were talking about Deshawn Davis, had a sack and a half and 2.5 tackles for a loss last week. He's the backup DN to Rondell Bothroyd, who's made a big play. That's the big emphasis for Dave Clawson this year, developing depth to go from good to great.
Yeah, exactly, and that's going to be the key to going from good to great because you have Miles Fox, Deion Bergen Jr., Suleiman Kamara, 3 guys that are going to hold up the point in the run game, especially once they get into ACC play. A lot of these teams like to run this zone read and pound it up through the middle. And then again, having Rondell Bothroyd back is so huge, not just for this defense, but for the team. He's a leader, one of those guys, redshirt sophomore, he's still young. Yeah, excellent player, and again, I just think he can bring back that production that Boogie Basham had for so many years.
It was a personal foul against Wake Forest, so another first down for Norfolk State. They're in Demon Deacons territory again. Carter on the give. It's Smith. Jaquarii Johns is there on the stop for Wake Forest. First time we've said the defensive end's name. There is a flag on the field.
Holding. Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty.
Colby Bird, the center for Norfolk State, the guilty party there. It'll back him up for a first down and long.
Got Colby Bird out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, my hometown actually. He's doing a good job trying to reach block, but yeah, when you stick out that right arm, and again, he didn't need to do it because the running back was actually past him, so he'll learn from that. But a great center for this offensive line at Norfolk State.
Yeah, trying to deal with number 5, Ryan Smenda Jr. is an unenviable task, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Carter wanted to throw deep. He's flushed from the pocket. Carter directing traffic, and the redshirt senior wisely gets rid of it.
And Drew, that's the right play to make. And this is what I say about this young man. He understands, hey, if I break the pocket, nobody's open. There's nothing wrong chucking the ball out of bounds. Moving on to the next down, you protect your team that way. You protect yourself because now you're not getting sacked. So Juwan Carter, just a 5th-year senior, understanding what to do, even when a bad play breaks down. You don't make a bad play worse by trying to force something.
Yeah, he's a really smart player, and especially against this Wake Forest defense, which had a couple of interceptions last week against Old Dominion. 10th play of the drive for Norfolk State. 2 drives, both double-figure plays in the first quarter. Carter on the give. Smenda is there to blow it up. That's Raekwon Smith again on the carry for Norfolk State, and that takes us to the end of the first quarter. So the Spartans sustaining drives. That's the theme. Demon Deacons only got it once. It took them less than 2 minutes to go 60 yards and score. Wake Forest up 7-3, and they are in the middle of a 10-play drive, down 7-3 against Wake Forest. Drew Carter and EJ Manuel back with you. Happy you're with us on this Saturday. We just saw Wake Forest defensive coordinator Lyle Hemphill, and they've been keeping it pretty vanilla on defense as Norfolk State's got a 3rd down and long. They set up the screen to Justin Smith, and that time EJ, Wake Forest handles it, but Norfolk State was 4 for 5 on 3rd down before that.
Yeah, Norfolk State's doing a great job of converting on 3rd down. Now, Wake Forest got him in a bad situation, 3rd and 12. So 3rd and plus as far as getting the first down. So that's going to be tough. They just throw a screen route, not really trying to get it. Probably playing a field position game right here and get a nice punt. But Again, I think the Wake Forest defense is just playing their base defense, not going to show a whole lot. They have a whole ACC schedule ahead of them. Florida State coming in town next weekend, so I don't expect them to be throwing out a lot of exotic blitzes to try to win with their base defense.
So this could be exciting. Norfolk State out to punt, and Ryan Richter gets it off. Had 2 punts blocked, both returned for touchdowns last week at Toledo. This one is returned by Taylor Marin for Wake Forest, and they've got solid field position as their offense comes back out. Well, you see the American flag on the helmet for Wake Forest today. As we all know, the country remembers the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks. ROTC cadets from Wake Forest and Winston-Salem State joined community volunteers and first responders for the Climb to Remember at Truist Field this morning to honor victims of the attack. Participants walked 2,997 steps to honor the number of lives lost in New York, Washington, D.C., and Shanksville, Pennsylvania on that tragic day. Our thoughts are with all the families who lost loved ones 20 years ago today. Christian Beal-Smith going nowhere on the first play, and one person who nearly lost a loved one is Wake Forest head coach Dave Clawson. His sister Kathy worked in New York at the time, and if her train had been on time that day, September 11th, 2001, she would have been in the World Trade Center when the planes hit. Thankfully, she was not. The train was 10 minutes late, and it ended up saving her life.
It's an amazing story to hear that from Coach Clawson yesterday, and I can only imagine how it feels to be in that situation as a head coach and at Fordham at the time, and there in New York City, understanding that just the tragedy of 9/11. So great that they're doing what they're doing to honor those people who've fallen.
On third down, Hartman finds Roberson. That's his safety valve for a first down Demon Deacons. As you said, EJ, Clawson was in New York City at the time, the head coach of Fordham from '99 to 2003. They were getting ready to play Columbia, another school in New York City. Clawson thinks that Fordham and Columbia have as many alums in the city as anyone, and for a stretch there, his players were afraid to go outside. I mean, that's how serious it was for his program.
Drew, I can only imagine, man. I was in the 6th grade at the time, and I just remember having that eerie feeling when I went home, got off the bus, just not understanding fully what was going on until I got home and my dad and my mom explained it. It's an awful day, and so many people and so many lives lost.
Yeah, it certainly is. And again, our hearts are with anyone who lost someone that day, even 20 years later. Absolutely. We know it never gets easier. And Wake Forest honoring the victims with that Climb to Remember this morning, and the helmet sticker. Coach Clawson says a helmet sticker is never enough. Nothing is enough, but the Demon Deacons, it's important to them, important to him to honor those victims. As Roberson has another first down on a 12-yard pass from Sam Hartman, and Wake Forest again, EJ, is on the move.
I tell you, Sam Hartman is in such rhythm, just doing a great job of getting the ball out on time, accurate, out in front of the receiver, allowing catch and run opportunities for a guy like Jaquarii Roberson. It's going to get you a first down every single time if he gets the opportunity.
Wake Forest near the red zone again. Hartman scored with his legs on that first drive. This time brought down by Remy Feltz.
Sam Hartman making the right decision, finding that little gap in the line of scrimmage. The pass rush from Norfolk State, still getting positive yards for 3. A lot of quarterbacks who try to make a big play, be a hero. Sam Hartman pulls it down, gets positive yards.
Hartman with another first down pass. He's now completed all 7 of his pass attempts. Our first look at Taylor Marin, the trusty slot wide receiver.
This is another shifty receiver doing a great job on the slant route, snapping his neck, getting his eyes to the quarterback, showing his number, giving him the chest. Ball right there. Easy pitch and catch right here for the Demon Deacons.
So Wake Forest is back in the red zone. Mentioned how efficient they were. That number led the ACC. They scored touchdowns more than 70% of the time they made it in the red zone, and scored points 93% of the time, also tops in the league. They go Wildcat as they did a few times last week against ODU. Christian Beal-Smith might have lost his helmet. There's a flag on the play. And Beal-Smith did not slow down even 1%. Looked like Jason Witten out there.
Well, he has a little bit more protection with the dreadlocks. So, Drew, maybe he wasn't as worried banging his head on somebody's helmet.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down. Number 1 may remain in the game.
Makes sense. Face mask against Norfolk State. As Beal-Smith lost the lid.
And, Drew, I love when they get in Wildcat. I think it's a great opportunity for them to punch the ball forward good running back, the guy that they can trust in Christian Beal-Smith. Make sure he can secure the snap. And I've been in a situation where we have a wildcat and things don't go well because the running back bobbles the snap. But again, you're going to see the face mask here. Number 56, Marquis Hall. It's good to see he's back in the game. See if they can punch it in here down in the low red.
First and goal at the 3. Beal-Smith does just that. Touchdown, Deeks.
And Drew, that's exactly what Coach Clausen talked about yesterday in our production meeting. He wants these guys to dominate the line of scrimmage. When we get down here, we're going to score points, whether we run the ball, whether we throw the ball. They're extremely efficient in the red zone, all the way back to last season. It's the offensive line doing a great job. Road grading right there. I could have drove my truck through that hole, Drew. Great run, great score.
Dave Clausen pleased with the offensive line in week 1. I think he's going to be pleased with them on that drive. Beal-Smith on the short touchdown. 10 plays, 63 yards. 2 drives, 2 scores for the Demon Deacons. Christian Beal-Smith had a pair of touchdowns last week against Old Dominion. He likes playing these teams from Norfolk, Virginia. Another touchdown for the redshirt junior.
Beal-Smith is doing a great job of taking every opportunity, just moving forward, always falling forward. That's the true testament of a running back, Drew, is do his shoulders fall forward. And Beal-Smith is certainly one of those guys.
Ivan Moore's kick goes out of bounds. It'll be Norfolk State football at the 35.
Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Norfolk State.
So good field position for the Spartans, trying to respond to that touchdown by the Deeks. And as you mentioned, EJ, Christian Beal-Smith not wasting any time on this touchdown.
Not wasting any time. And again, the offensive line on the right side, got Nagasamanaya and Gordon doing a great job of just opening up the holes. Easy opportunity for Beal-Smith to run it in there for a touchdown. Celebrate when his big dog's up front. Maybe take him out to get a burger after the game. See how that goes. Always got to take care of your offensive lineman, Drew. Always.
Well, it's funny to bring that up, EJ, because we were talking with Dave Clausen yesterday, and he said they probably did better in pass protection than the run game in week 1. So you said, so naturally, Hartman's taking him out, not the running backs. And Clausen said, the running backs are cheap. They could run for 400 plus, and they still wouldn't pick up the tab.
Yeah, the quarterback's always supposed to take the offensive lineman out to get some good food. And I'll tell you what, Drew, I had a chance to do a road show with the ACC Network this past couple weeks ago at Winston-Salem. And Coach Clausen put Jordan Cornett and I on an excellent restaurant called Sweet Potatoes. So I want to give them a quick shout out. They took care of us. We had a great time, some great food down there in North Carolina.
How much are they giving you off your next meal for that little shout out you just dropped?
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to give us anything off on it, but I think they might just give us a thank you for the shout out. But I don't think they're giving us any discounts yet.
Well,
I haven't earned that. I'm not Coach Clausen.
If you get a discount, I'm coming with you. I want to try this place.
My man.
2nd down and 6 for Norfolk State. This is their 3rd drive. The first 2 have both been long-lasting drives. Kevin Johnson makes 2 Deacons miss and picks up a first down. Nice run for the preseason first-team All-MEAC player.
Kevin Johnson out of Suffolk, Virginia. I actually know his trainer very, very well, Anthony Stringfield of First String Sports Training. I actually worked out with him from high school. Great friend of the family. Kevin Johnson doing a great job being shifty, keeping his shoulders in line with the line of scrimmage. Again, running fearless. Kind of a light guy, 6'1", 175, but certainly will put his shoulders down and get those extra yards.
Makes for a dangerous backfield duo, Jawan Carter and Kevin Johnson. Johnson had a 52-yard run at Toledo in week 1. First down and 10 for the Spartans. Johnson gets the call again. That time Luke Masterson is there to make sure he loses 2 yards.
Yeah, a simple stretch zone run out the pistol formation right there by the Spartans. Luke Masterson is doing a great job of overlapping the linemen. And what the linemen want to do on offense, they want to try to get their head, their helmet in front of the linebacker so they can kind of get that leverage so the running back can have the opportunity to get outside. But Masterson outrunning him, coming up and making a big tackle.
4 tackles for loss already for Wake Forest. 5 tackles for Luke Masterson. He was a standout. Dave Clausen really happy with his performance in week 1. Said he tackled everything at 7 total tackles, 2nd on the team. 2nd down and long for Norfolk State. Carter on the handoff again to Johnson. Can't get out of the grasp of Wake Forest defender.
I'll tell you what they did there on defense. Luke Masterson actually shifted over, swapped spots with Ryan Smenda. Got on the line of scrimmage, which creates a 5-0 for the offensive lineman. So the offensive linemen now have to block the 5 guys mugged up on the defensive line. which creates run lanes, which creates opportunities for the defense to slide in, make the tackle for loss just like they did.
3rd and long for Norfolk State. That was Royce Francis, the redshirt sophomore, on the tackle there. Carter over the middle. That's a bullet a little too high for his receiver to Kendall James. Kalen Carson on the coverage, the second-year starter out of Waldorf, Maryland.
Carson doing a great job sticking right there to Kendall James. He tries to run that bang route. Linebacker in the way, so you had to get that ball up and over in a tight space. But again, great coverage by the young quarter, Gavin Holmes.
EJ, that's a pretty good throw from Carter.
Yeah, great throw, actually, and right on time. Just want to correct that. That was Kalen Carson on the coverage there with PBU, but great throw right there by Juwan Carter. On time, just a little too high.
Yeah, nice play by Carson in his second year as a contributor. Still listed as a freshman, though. Here's the punt from Ryan Richter. There is a flag on the field. Taylor Marin had a great punt return on the first one and a chance to do so again. Takes it out beyond his own 20-yard line. And we'll see what the flag is. That first punt from Richter was a net of 9 yards. This one a little bit better, but anything's better than what happened last week at Toledo when 2 of his punts were blocked and returned for touchdowns.
Formation, kicking team, more than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. First down, Wake Forest. Timeout.
I think Dawson Odoms is saying, how many guys can I get to block for the punter? Because he doesn't want to have any more punts.
Guys on a receiver, and then again, the offensive line road grading up front, creating holes for Christian Beal-Smith to run right in there to pay dirt, get another 6 points for the Demon Deacons. Sam Hartman 7 for 7. Efficient, great footwork, playing with confidence.
Yeah, EJ, Sam Hartman 7 of 7, 66 yards, a rating of just under 180. I'm no math major. I don't know how that number is calculated, but it sounds pretty good. This time, though, it is a completion, so he stays perfect, but nothing doing for Keyshawn Williams. Norfolk State gang tackles. There is a flag on the field, though.
Offside, defense.
Tavion Land, number 7, made the tackle, but it is offsides against the Spartans. We'll try that again.
Correction, the foul was on number 18.
Deshawn Dixon, you see the DN, bottom of your screen. Lined up a little over the ball.
Standout defensive end out of Chesapeake, Virginia, Western Branch High School. I was actually looking at that play pre-snap, Drew. I thought he was offside, so clean call by the referees.
Hartman on the keep. This time he wants it all. Going deep. A little too much sauce. He was looking for Donald Stewart, the transfer from Stanford. Tyree Rogers, another transfer out of Virginia Tech on the coverage.
Rogers
Hartman's
staying right
first
there.
Incompletion. Go ahead, EJ.
On top of the receiver, making that throw hard for Sam Hartman. Actually, I thought he put it in a good spot where only the receiver could catch it, maybe 2 yards away, but it's a safe spot. Move on to the second down.
A second down and short after that offsides penalty. It's our first look at Christian Turner, the transfer from Michigan. A gain of 1. Anthony Bloom on the stop. It's kind of funny, EJ. We were just talking off the air about Kenneth Walker III, the transfer from Wake Forest who went to Michigan State. All he did in week 1 was go for more than 250 and 4 touchdowns. Now Wake Forest gets a transfer from the Mitten State. And Christian Turner from the Wolverines. This time, though, Hartman keeps it in the air. It's a first down. Demon Deacons. Keyshawn Williams, the freshman from Philly, has 14.
Solid catch right there. The receiver just moving upfield. Keyshawn Williams, a young guy, a freshman. Opportunities to play in this game, get his feet wet, tackled a little bit.
Hartman to throw again. He's got a man again. That's Stewart. This time they connect. Brandon Savage on the coverage. Stewart's got a solid gain on first down. Make it another first down. 11-yard pickup.
I love the hurry-up offense, which keeps the Norfolk State defenders on the field. They can't substitute, Drew, which tires these guys out, especially when you throw a bubble route like that outside to Keyshawn Williams. So you're going to see some subs there for the Spartans, but this is certainly going to tire out the defensive line, which slows down the pass rush, which leads to more throws by Sam Hartman.
That's a 5-yard gain for the freshman on first down. And EJ, you mentioned the efficiency. That's 21 plays and 11 first downs for Wake Forest in this game. Hartman keeps it long, floats it. Blake Whitehart, the tight end, can't corral it with one hand. That's Rogers again to lay the shoulder and make sure that Whitehart, who's much taller at 6'4", can't bring it in.
Yeah, and for a second, Sam had him. Again, that's a tough throw because you got to get it up and over the front seven. The linebacker's trying to get a hand on it. Good job by Jaquarii Roberson. He's tapping on his helmet, Drew, because again, the no huddle makes these guys tired, and I guarantee you it's hot out there in Winston-Salem.
I thought for a second he was celebrating, but instead he was asking for a breather.
I think he was calling for a blow.
Wake Forest stays perfect on third down as Christian Turner carries bodies across the sticks.
Yeah, these running backs for Wake Forest, they are special, man. They just get their pads in line. See Turner putting his shoulders down and just running through the line, scrimmage, offensive line, just opening up holes for these running backs, giving these guys confidence, feeling good about themselves. Great throw.
Hartman to throw on first down. That is a dime inside the 5. Donald Stewart for a 24-yard gain.
Beautiful throw right there, Drew. And you know, that's what a great running game does. Makes those linebackers come up expecting the run, especially during play action. So that's second level, the defense for the Spartans. There's a lot of holes there. Sam Hartman's finding them.
Deeks back in the red zone. Good luck stopping them here. Hartman in the gun. Looking for his first touchdown of the day. Lots of contact. His receiver, Keyshawn Williams, hit the deck as Hartman's throw sails. The fans here at Truist want a flag, but there is none.
You got a corner cat blitz right here. And usually you want to get your running back, Christian Turner, to scan out and pick up that in protection. So that's going to certainly be something that the offensive coordinator, Coach Ruggiero, talks about in the film room on Sunday. The young man's going to have to pick that up. He's got to protect this quarterback.
On the ground, it's Turner. He's got a nose for the end zone. Comes up just short. It'll bring up third down and goal. EJ, you mentioned a corner cat blitz. What do you mean by that?
So a corner cat blitz is something that we call on offense. They're going to bring the corner from the boundary, which is the top of your screen. Got in there. He was unblocked. Usually Christian Turner, who just scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Road graders for Wake Forest.
Wake Forest keeps it moving. High-octane offense for the Demon Deacons. They keep it on the ground and they score again. So 3 touchdowns for Wake Forest. 3 different guys on the ground. Hartman, Beal-Smith, and now Christian Turner.
He makes up for it, Drew, by scoring that touchdown. But I guarantee you the running backs coach is going to be in his ear about that protection bus. Corner cat coming in, knocking around Sam Hartman.
3 drives, 3 touchdowns for Wake Forest. It might be time for those running backs to reach into their checkbooks and say, hey, offensive line, we got you this time. It might be time for them to buy dinner. So Wake Forest efficient yet again. Sam Hartman sets him up inside with that beautiful pass for the Demon Deacons against Norfolk State here in week 2. Drew Carter back alongside EJ Manuel. EJ, we've seen Wake Forest on offense 3 times, and every time they've looked tremendous.
Drew, a lot of methodical passes, quick opportunities to get the ball out of Sam Hartman's hands. And again, the offensive line doing a great job road grading up front, not allowing this Norfolk State defense to get any type of confidence.
Ivan Moore on the kickoff. The last one went out of bounds. This one is a touchback. And we will be back in just a moment. Norfolk State's offense back on the field as the Spartans look to claw back into this one.
And goes all the way back to Bruce Smith back in the 80s. Not a Booker T. Washington High School, Virginia Tech, great Buffalo Bill All-Star, Hall of Famer, and also my uncle.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that one, huh? Fun fact.
Man, EJ Manuel pulling out the surprises. Now, we saw the ACC, and EJ, I'm thinking you probably can't imagine anyone from the 757 abandoning their roots and going to play for an ACC school, right? No one would ever do that.
Nobody would ever do that, Drew. With an exception. With an exception. I know where you're going. I know where you're going. Yeah, obviously chose Florida State over Virginia Tech, UVA, North Carolina. And, you know, just a matter of the times when Jimbo was the offensive coordinator, was recruiting me. Bobby Bowden was down there, the storied tradition. I just figured I'd take my talents down to Tallahassee, Florida, but still love the 757, extremely proud of where I come from. And anytime I get a chance to see these guys in the college scene, I always try to give them some love.
Yeah, I'd say that decision worked out for you. Kevin Johnson, one guy from the 757 out of Suffolk, Virginia, gives Norfolk a first down as they look to build another drive. They have sustained drives in the first half. The problem has just been finishing. They got a field goal from 41 yards out on their first drive. They put together another 5-minute plus one, and they didn't score. So we'll see what they've got here. Juwan Carter to throw. Juwan Carter to run. He's got speed into Wake Forest territory.
Again, Coach Clausen talked about keeping this guy in the pocket. So dangerous as a runner. Understanding, hey, if I have a big slot here in the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna just take off and run and get a big game myself. Keep this drive going for the Spartans. Just crossing the 50-yard line.
17-yard gain for the Spartans quarterback, the preseason MEAC Offensive Player of the Year. Norfolk State sets up shop in Wake Forest territory for the third time today. This time Carter cannot escape. Ripped down by Kevin Pointer Jr. Good to see him back. He was injured earlier in the first half. He looks 100% healthy now. Loss of 6.
Absolutely, and defensive coordinator Lyle Hemphill is getting tired. Juwan Carter taking off and running, so he brought a little pressure right there. But the field linebacker and Kevin Pointer, like you said, Drew, back in the game, making a big impact for a tackle for loss on the quarterback. Now second and 16. Probably going to create a 3rd and long opportunity once again.
Yeah, Pointer using that big bear paw. The 6'1", 285 freshman just transferred from Louisiana Monroe.
Again, you're going to see that 5-man defensive front right here, which puts Norfolk State's offensive line in a bind, 5-5.
Yeah, Carter felt it right away. He's got to go. He's got some space. And Carter back to the original line of scrimmage. And what we just saw there is green grass, a gain of 15 for Juwan Carter. Lyle Hemphill called him a, quote, green grass guy. He's happy to throw and stay in the pocket, but when he sees space, he will take advantage.
Absolutely. And he's been doing it the entire game. And he sees an open space up front, he's going to move up and take off and run. And Drew, this makes the defense tired. These guys are just hands on their hips. Juwan Carter has his own hands on his hips, so he's maybe a little gassed. But I'm telling you, man, this makes it hard on the defense when the quarterback takes off and runs. It kind of breaks the back of the defense of what they're trying to do. Probably going to see a little bit more pressure here.
Carter's run 6 times for 34 yards on 3rd down and 1. He floats it going long up top. That's caught. Justin Smith, the contested catch maven, brings it down for a 1st down for the Spartans.
Justin Smith just having a day. You got 0 coverage right here. Just man on man. Justin Smith winning that opportunity against the corner. The safety, Kobe Davis. 0 pressure, and again, Coach Hemphill wanted to get the quarterback, get the ball out of his hands, and Juwan Carter understanding what he was being thrown at him. It's a ball up and down. Justin Smith with a big catch.
28 yards for Smith. He was the #2 triple jumper in the state of Virginia in high school. We saw the hops there. Here's Carter throwing to the corner. Kind of a half and half throwaway, also looking for his receiver. Brings up 2nd down.
And another smart play right there by Carter. Moving to his right, taking his time. I could run, throw this ball and keep it safe. I already got points technically down here in the low red zone. Being safe with it, not causing the ball to get tipped up, throw another interception like he did last week versus Toledo. Very efficient game by this young man.
That time he was looking for Anthony Williams, the 6th-year tight end out of Norfolk, playing for his hometown team. A touchdown would be crucial here for the Spartans. They have not been able to cash in and find pay dirt yet. Carter to throw over the middle, again incomplete. Looking for Daquan Felton.
It's Isaiah Wingfield. Did a good job coming down on the slant. Again, 0 coverage out there one-on-one. Throw a little high. And again, it's tough because you have a slant with 9 guys in the box. So maybe you might want to throw a fade there instead of having a receiver come inside. But nonetheless, it's a safe space. The ball is tipped up, goes out of bounds. Get another opportunity here on 3rd down for Norfolk State.
The Spartans are 5 for 8 on 3rd down today. It's their 9th play of this drive. Another long drive. Can they finally reach the paint? Carter fakes right, throws left, got a man. The running back, touchdown Norfolk State. Raekwon Smith to the house.
And that's a miscommunication on the defense right there. Jasir Taylor thinking it's man-to-man, started to go over across the field with the motion guy, and he loses leverage. You're going to see him right there in the bottom of your screen. Quarterback Jawan Carter does a great job of coming back to his running back Raekwon Smith for a walk-in touchdown. But another coverage bust right there for Wake Forest. Got to get that communication figured out.
EJ, do you think that was designed as a fake to the right, throw to the left, or was he planning to throw right and just saw no one to the left?
You know, I do think that probably was a part of the design. Maybe a nice little bubble screen out to the left, or excuse me, to the right, coming back to his running back with nobody out there. So even if Jasir hadn't had the coverage bust, maybe he would have had leverage with all the eyes going right, going back to the left.
Josh Nardone misses the extra point, so it stays 21-9. Wake Forest. Norfolk State, a great drive. 10 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Check that, 9 plays.
Excuse me, Drew, you can see the confusion in Taylor. Patting his chest, am I going with him and am I not going with him? He ends up going with him instead. End up being a zone coverage. Walk-in touchdown from Raekwon Smith out of Richmond, Virginia. That's a big score right there for Norfolk State. 2-minute drill right before the half. Wake Forest getting the ball coming out in the second half, but good opportunity for Norfolk State, the Spartans, to put some points on the board. Feel good about themselves.
Look at these long drives for Norfolk State, EJ. I mean, is this a concern if you're Wake Forest? The Spartans have been staying on the field 12, 11, and 9 plays.
You know, I'd be remiss to say if it was not a concern, just because you don't want to have a team having long drives ever, especially a Coach Hemphill coach team on defense. But nonetheless, I think they're playing pretty vanilla. They're not showing a lot. They're not bringing a lot of blitz packages, but you can see Coach Clausen is fired up. He is upset. He wants them to get that fixed. The offense is doing their part. Defense has to tighten up.
And he's probably surprised that Jasir Taylor is the one with the busted coverage. Taylor is the senior. He had the interception and the kickoff return for a touchdown last week. But that time he allows Norfolk State to score. And the Spartans with more than 20 minutes in the possession battle. Wake Forest, 3 touchdowns on 3 short drives. Norfolk State keeps it away from the dangerous kick returners for the Demon Deacons. And here we go, EJ, with 1:05 on the clock. Wake Forest has had 3 quick scoring drives. It's taken them 1:47, 3 minutes 21, and 3 minutes flat. They've got to be thinking touchdown here, right?
Absolutely. And these are situations we would do every single day in practice when I was a player. 1:05 on the clock. 3 timeouts. You got plenty of time. Sam Hartman's going to be smart with the football. Maybe hit some receivers out wide near the sidelines. You can save some of those timeouts once you get down into the low red. Great opportunity. Great learning lesson here for the quarterback. 11 of 14 of the day. Doesn't have a touchdown pass yet, so let's see if you can get one on the board before the half.
Hartman to throw on first down. Over the middle, can't connect with Blake Whiteheart. Second target for the tight end. He's still looking for his first catch.
And Blake's going to have to come up with that catch there. The key to a 2-minute drill, you got to get the first completion. You got to get the first down. Excuse me, the first down. And then you get into your offense. Probably do some no huddle. Keep the defense for Norfolk State off balance.
Hartman again to throw. Right sideline, he's got Donald Stewart, who sneaks out of bounds right in front of the first down marker. Second catch of the day for Stewart, one of 6 receivers to catch a pass for the Demon Deacons today. And EJ, that's something Dave Clausen told us about. Sam Hartman has really grown in terms of building relationships with his wide receivers. They are playing for him, not just with him right now, and he's spreading the ball around.
Absolutely, and Sam talked to me about it during our road show there up in Winston-Salem, and saying COVID year was so tough. You couldn't really hang out with guys with COVID and the social distancing. Now that guys are somewhat vaccinated, being safer and being smarter, they have more opportunities to hang out and actually create a real relationship. I can only imagine trying to play football last year and not actually being able to hang with your teammates outside of the practice field. So I'm very happy for these guys and try to create that.
Yeah, that time comfortable in the pocket, and he finds his 7th different receiver of the day, Jamal Banks, the freshman out of D.C. Hartman looks comfortable. Rolling to his right. On the run. On the money. Donald Stewart, first down, Wake Forest.
Donald Stewart
15
finding
yards.
the hole in the defense there, Drew. Making himself available to Sam Hartman, who broke the pocket on a nice Q8, which is a sprint out to the right. Wake Forest is on the road.
Hartman looking right sideline for Stewart one more time. That time it is incomplete. Devin Coles on the coverage for Norfolk State. You mentioned the team bonding they've been able to do after the COVID year, EJ. They had a movie night together. They watched the new Suicide Squad movie. reviews positive from inside this Demon Deacons program. The receivers went on a fishing trip together, and Sam Hartman is a big angler. If you watch Wake Forest Roadshow on the ACC network, that's his second favorite sport, too. Here's Hartman throwing on the run and deep to the end zone. Oh, Banks brought it down, but he's out of bounds. What a catch regardless.
And Drew, they love this young man, Jamal Banks, out of Washington, D.C., a 6'4" freshman. So you talk about that size and that height, you definitely want to give him opportunities. But Sam just doing a great job moving up in the pocket, giving Banks an opportunity to make a big boy catch. Guarantee you moving forward, he's going to come down with catches like that, especially later in the season as he gets his feet more wet.
And that was close to a phenomenal grab from Jamal Banks. But how about the throw for Sam Hartman? I mean, I know everyone gets compared to Patrick Mahomes nowadays, but that was off his right foot on the run, slinging it about 50 yards.
Oh, yeah.
This time they keep it on the ground. Christian Beal-Smith on the give. And it's a timeout for the Demon Deacons. They're first of the half, so they got 2 more with 22 seconds to play with.
Wake doing a great job. The situation, understanding, hey, we can't get positive yards while we're in bounds. Just take off, burn a timeout. That was 4th and 3. Big decision here for Coach Clausen. You want to take a field goal and Nick Skiba, or try to go for it and possibly get 7 points before the half.
Wake Forest's goal this season is to go from good to great. We told you earlier in the show that they've made 5 straight bowl games. That's a program record. But they're not satisfied with that anymore. Suleiman Kamara, in fact, said we're done with 6 or 7 wins. We wouldn't be happy with that. And this program is moving in the right direction, EJ. They're the smallest school in the ACC. It's difficult to recruit to Winston-Salem. But you see these guys in the NFL, 7 of them this year. That's got to help. Success breeds success.
Absolutely. And this is going to only help recruiting. Getting some of those young players to understand, hey, if you come to Wake Forest, you have a chance to go to the NFL as well. And it's not just about the physical. They're also building up on the facilities, weight room, practice fields. Everything's getting better there in Winston-Salem for the Deacons.
And you know what's staying great is Nick Skiba. 46 yards. Might as well put him on the board before he even kicks it. He's the most accurate kicker in ACC history. Came in making more than 89% of his career field goals, the 3rd best in NCAA history. 46 yards. He do that in his sleep. Wake Forest back on the board.
Another great drive by the Demon Deacons, getting points right before the half. And yes, they get the ball back coming out in the 3rd quarter. I guarantee you Coach Clausen is going to be leaning into his team, saying you gave these guys 9 points. I'm sure they wanted to pitch a shutout, but Norfolk State doing a great job. Their quarterback also making plays with his legs and his arm.
Juwan Carter and the Spartans offense has been impressive. Look at total yards. The Spartans have 161 in this first half against an ACC defense.
And Drew, I love situations like that, especially 2 minutes before the half. So important for this Wake Forest offense to understand what to do, what not to do as well. There's so many opportunities, especially late in the season, where there's going to have opportunities where you're going to need that, especially getting 3 points or 7 points going into the half feeling good about themselves.
Morris kick through the end zone. I want to go back real quick to what you were talking about with the facilities there in Winston-Salem, EJ. I mean, they really are investing in this program. We heard the president, Dr. Susan Wente, say she's very competitive. She wants to win. She expects to win at Wake Forest, and that's becoming the expectation in the program. Dave Clausen is candid. He acknowledges the history at Wake Forest, aside from 3 years under Jim Grobe, is not really that strong. But he thinks that they can compete for ACC championships.
No question. I think a lot of people assume that Wake Forest is more of a basketball school or, you know, other sports, but football has been king here for a while. Coach Clausen is making that known. He wants them to have the same feel that Clemson has, the same feel that North Carolina has when they bring in recruits. I'll tell you what, the facilities were beautiful. They treated Jordan Cornett and I, our crew from ACC Network, like family. Had a great time down there.
You want to give another plug to sweet potatoes, or did you hit your quota for the day already?
I couldn't do it enough, Drew. It was so good. And I wish I had a slice of sweet potato pie here in the studio with me right now, my friend. Stomach's growling a little bit, but great job by both of these teams in the first. Have chances in the pocket. I think offensive lineman-wise, not a lot of pressure, not a lot of sacks on today. So let's see what Sam Hartman can do here if they get the ball back first.
Yeah, Sam Hartman 14 of 20 on the day for 158 yards in that first half. Wake Forest gets it to start. They've got good field position starting at their own 35-yard line. That was just an 11-yard return for Jasir Taylor, who had the 99-yard return touchdown in the first game against Old Dominion. You see some of the first half numbers. Wake Forest efficient on offense. They've run 34 plays in the first half, EJ. None of them have lost yardage.
And I think that's a testament to the offensive line. Zach Tom, Sean Magin, Michael Juergens, Loic Nagasamanaya, Devontae Gordon, protecting the quarterback, protecting the runners, keeping that ball moving forward.
Hartman starts in the shotgun, keeps it a while on the RPO. He's got his man, Jaquarii Roberson, over the top. Roberson, 64-yard touchdown Deacs.
And you know what, Drew? We talk about the receiver, we talk about the quarterback. Again, the offensive line created this touchdown, and you're going to see it. They hold up right here, allowing Sam to ride this fake for about 2 seconds, double pump it, and still throw a dime to Jaquarii Roberson, who takes it home. We knew he was a home run hitter. Just a matter of time for him to step up the bat.
Jaquarii Roberson has now caught a touchdown in 6 consecutive games dating back to last year. That 64-yard touchdown, their first real big play, first one of more than 25 yards today. And Wake Forest now leads 31-9. Jaquarii Roberson here, what'd you see, EJ?
I tell you, anytime you have a long riding fake like this, it's hard on the safeties. You're going to have quarters coverage, which is basically man-to-man with the safeties on the slot receiver. Nice slow start to the route for Jaquarii Roberson, and he kind of lulls him to sleep with a little head fake inside, and that's all he needs is one step. Laid out throw right there by Hartman. Easy touchdown. Honestly, Drew, this is something we're going to see all season long. This guy is so shifty, and the way that he can start and stop with his speed. Excellent receiver, showing that growth, showing that leadership. Nice little chest bump with his boy Christian Beal-Smith. You gotta love it. Wake starts off on fire.
Yeah, it's a really tough assignment for number 20, Stuart Anderson Jr., one of the captains for Norfolk State. But as you said, EJ, it looked for about 2 seconds like that'd be a run. Next thing you know, number 5 is behind the entire defense for a 64-yard pop.
And again, Drew, the offensive line creating the time for Sam Hartman to sit back in the pocket, really relaxing. It's almost like 7-on-7 when you have protection like that. Just put it up there and let the receiver go get it.
So after Roberson's 11th career touchdown reception, Ivan Moore's kick bounces into the end zone, and Norfolk State sets up shop at the 25-yard line. So we'll see what Jawan Carter has as a response to Sam Hartman. We highlighted that they were both great in that first half. Dawson Odoms, the new head coach of Norfolk State, knows that he needs a lot from Carter if his team's going to go anywhere this year. What do you want to see from them on offense here in the second half, EJ?
I want to see efficiency. If you go back to the first drive of the game, they're efficient. Good play calls, a lot of check with me to the sideline. Coach B.T. Sherman, the offensive coordinator, seeing what the defense is going to do, get them in the right play. Jawan Carter taking good care of the football, 1 touchdown on the day. See if he can do it twice in the second half.
Carter on the give to J.J. Davis. And a wall of Deacons keeps him near the line of scrimmage.
And Drew, I wish I was a fly in Wake Forest's locker room during halftime, because I guarantee you the defensive coordinator, Lyle Hemphill, got into his guys about just a sense of urgency, keeping the quarterback in the pocket, stuffing up the run. Great start right there on first down.
Yeah, Carter with 6 carries for 34 yards in that first half. They have a big 15-yard rip we saw on second down and long. Now second down and 10 for Norfolk State. Carter on the give. It's Davis again. One of 4 running backs the Spartans will rotate through. And Jasir Taylor comes up to make the stop. 3-yard gain.
Yeah, Jasir Taylor coming up, bringing the boom. Not being afraid to put his nose in there as a cornerback. A lot of times corners just want to protect or they want to cover. Be pretty on the outside. Now Mr. Taylor will come down and lay the wood.
Yeah, Jasir Taylor, superstar in week 1. ACC Specialist of the Week with that 99-yard kick return. Also had an interception on defense. He was on Packer and Durham on ACC Network the other day, and Dave Clawson said he was blown away by how comfortable he looked. Clawson said he never could have done that a few years ago. He came in, he was very introverted. Now he's a real leader. As Carter's pass is picked off and taken back for a touchdown. A pick six for the defensive lineman, Jaquarii Johns.
I think that one might have hit the ground here, Drew. Let's see on the replay. Yeah, I think that probably be an incomplete pass.
Yeah. If you're Johns, though, hey, look what I found. You might as well bring it back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Take it to the house. And even if they call it back, at least you got a chance to pick up the ball and take it into the end zone. Try to manifest that later on into the season.
Yeah. 17, Travion Red, the starting rover for Wake Forest, was the man who made the play and knocked it out of Carter's hands.
Ruling on the field of the fumble recovered by the defense for a touchdown is under further review.
So right now the points are on the board. We'll see if they call it an incomplete pass or a fumble return for a touchdown by Jaquarii Johns.
Yeah, I think just the fact that Juwan Carter's arm is moving forward is going to make this an incomplete pass. Get a good look right here. Yep, I think that's incomplete pass, Drew. A lot of times when a quarterback gets hit and it ends up being a fumble, it goes backwards. So if that arm goes forward, especially that front wrist, that elbow, more than likely going to be an incomplete pass. But again, I talk about manifesting for Johns. Hey, you get opportunities. Run that thing back in there. You never know you'll get the opportunity again.
Right.
Your dad are watching. Good for him.
Hey, cut the play for your highlight reel and just don't tell anyone that it got reversed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You ever play like that, EJ, when you were playing quarterback where you thought it was incomplete, it turns out to be a fumble?
You know, I can't think of one off the top of the head, Drew, because usually those are things I try to forget about. But nonetheless,
right. After further review, the passer's hand was coming forward with control of the ball. The pass was incomplete. It's fourth down.
So early in the first half, on the first play from scrimmage, Norfolk State fumbled, Wake Forest recovered, it was reversed.
Right.
So now, early in the second half, on their first drive, they have a fumble return for a touchdown and it's reversed. So Dave Clawson's thinking, come on, can we catch a break here?
Absolutely. You know, Coach Clawson wants to get his young guy, Jaquarii Johns, a touchdown. Obviously great for his defense. I got to say, Coach, I think this is an incomplete pass as well. Now, maybe that's the quarterback in me wanting that one to be an incompletion by trade, but again, great pressure applied by Wake Forest's front.
I want you to look at the three offensive linemen standing there at the 20-yard line. We've mentioned a couple times that Norfolk State last week had 2 punts blocked in return for touchdowns at Toledo. We asked Dave Clawson sort of jokingly, you going to send the house after the punter every time? He said, well, they switched up their protection, put 3 guys back there instead of 2, so we don't think we're going to get there this time. But it sets up return opportunities for guys like Taylor Marin, a preseason All-ACC punt returner. He takes them into Norfolk State territory. Past midfield, that's where Wake Forest starts their drive after a 27-yard return from Wake Forest back in business, about to start their first drive of the second half in Norfolk State territory, and they were extraordinarily efficient in the first half. 5 drives, they scored on all of them, and EJ, they did not waste any time on any of them.
They didn't waste any time, Drew. 65 yards, then a touchdown, 63 yards, then a touchdown, 67 yards, and a touchdown. These guys are doing an excellent job just moving the ball, taking what the defense is giving them. Like, a lot of times we try to make football a hard, complicated game. The defense is going to play soft. Just throw it out to the receivers and the offensive line. Road grading entire day, allowing these backs to get up through the middle. Excellent yardage.
First offensive play of the second half is a give to Christian Turner, the transfer from Michigan. And last time we saw Sam Hartman. He threw a 64-yard touchdown to Jaquarii Roberson. I even forgot about that first drive. It was 1 play, 9 seconds, 64 yards.
Yeah, and here's another great third down opportunity for Sam Hartman to try to convert here. Probably about 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6. As a player, I always loved 3rd down. Now, maybe not versus Norfolk State, but once he gets into ACC play, he'll probably get lit up with some pressures and go quick here.
Spartans bring the house. Hartman's pass deflected, and it does not make it to the tight end, Blake Whiteheart. So a quick 3 and out for Wake Forest.
Stays on the field here.
I spoke too soon. Not a 3 and out for the Demon Deacons. The punter, Ivan Morris, stays on the sideline. No punts yet today for the Demon Deacons, and that's going to stay that way. 4th down and 6. Hartman in the pocket. Hartman flushed past the 20. Sam Hartman into the red zone. There is a flag on the field, though. Sam Hartman doesn't run a whole lot. That time a 23-yard gain, but when he does, he's effective. He scored a touchdown with his legs in the first half. That one for 23 to pick it up on 4th down.
The best thing for a quarterback to do versus man-to-man, especially on 3rd down, Drew, is take off and run. Take off and run. Saw that a lot versus Georgia and Clemson last weekend. DJ Uyunglele, he didn't do it.
Holding. Number 5. Penalty is half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. 1st down.
Timothy Hedgepeth, our referee today. And the run for Sam Hartman stands, and Wake Forest sustains another drive. Ivan Moore, the punter's got to be thinking, come on, what do I have to do? It's 4th and 6, and I still can't get some action, but they were kind of in no man's land there.
Well, Drew, every punter I've been around, he's always happy as a quarterback if you can keep converting 1st downs. He wants the team to win.
Hartman on the give to Turner as Wake Forest has 1st and goal. Justin Toller comes flying into the backfield and blows it up.
Great job on Norfolk State's defensive line, holding up at the point of attack, allowing their backers and the safeties. You say Justin Toller, number 29, a cornerback, striking in for a big tackle.
Christian Turner had his first career Wake Forest touchdown in that first half. One of 3 different Demon Deacons to score on the ground. He gets the call again. A little space this time inside the 5. A Spartans helmet goes flying. It'll bring up 3rd down and goal.
Now, this is exactly what Coach Clausen talked about. He wants Wake Forest offense to be able to punch the ball down here in the low red. Low red being within the 10-yard line going in for a touchdown. It's an area of emphasis that I'm guaranteeing he's going to want to see what that offensive line can do as far as getting a push, maybe a play action pass here. Get Sam out on the edge. Possible touchdown on 3rd and goal.
The line's been great all day. Hartman on the run. Hartman to the end zone. A little too high for Jaquarii Roberson. Roberson 6'1". If he were 6'6", he might have gotten that one, but it brings up 4th and goal.
And Sam's going to wish he had that one back here. It's called a Q8, which is sprint out to the right. You're going to have a lead blocker, and Christian Turner, number 0. Just a little too high for the receiver, Jaquarii Roberson. He's tall. He's not that tall. I guarantee you Sam's going to wish he had that one back.
Brings up a 22-yard field goal attempt for Nick Skiba. Most accurate kicker in ACC history. 1 for 1 today, made from 46. Now make it 2 for 2 after the 22-yard field goal. So it's another 3 for Wake Forest. They've had 6 drives, and they've scored on all 6. AJ Manuel on hand. Thanks for spending some of your Saturday afternoon with us. Dawson Odoms and the Norfolk State Spartans in year 1 under this new regime. They lost at Toledo last week, now at Wake Forest, before they get into the MEAC season. Certainly a contender in that conference, picked to finish 2nd preseason. Ivan Moore to kick it away to Kevin Johnson, who's back deep for Norfolk State. And the Spartans will again start at their own 25. Let's go back to that missed opportunity there, EJ.
Yeah, I just want to show kind of the issue with this play. You're going to see a nice little pick route up top here by Taylor Moran. He's going to run what looks like a slant. He's going to bring this corner in. Then Jaquarii Roberson's going to stutter off, shuffle a little bit, and go out into the flat. Now, this is called a Q8 or sprint right. But Sam Hartman's footwork is the reason why this ball was high. Going to get a chance to see here on this next look. Normally when you throw a Q8, you want to finish downfield at your receiver. But what Sam did, he kind of finished parallel to the sideline. So he'll go back to the drawing board tomorrow or Monday. The next time they have a meeting with his offensive coordinator or his quarterback coach, they're going to fix that. That's an easy touchdown pass for Sam Hartman. He's thrown a bunch in this game.
Jaquan Carter to throw on first down. He finds to Kendall James, who's brought down after a solid gain on the first play of that drive. So, EJ, going back to that missed throw, though, would you rather see him set his feet?
Not on that play, because the way the blocking scheme is, you can never stop on a Q8. It's a true sprint to the right or sprint to the left, Q8 to the right, Q8 to the left. So you have defenders coming behind you. Now, on that play, he didn't because it's Norfolk State, but nonetheless in ACC, there's going to be some werewolves coming on the other side, so you can never set your feet on the sprint right. Just want to finish at your target. That's the main thing.
Carter on the give. Norfolk State keeps it on the ground. Just a 1-yard gain for Lex Henry, the 5th different Spartans running back we've seen come in, and Luke Masterson, playing box linebacker for the first season. One of the captains on this Wake Forest defense makes the stop.
Love to see Wake Forest plugging up the holes, making it tough. This Norfolk State offense got a 3rd and 4 opportunity right here. See if they try to keep Jaquan Carter in the pocket.
Spartans 6 for 10 on 3rd down today.
That check with me to the sideline. Offense coordinator BT Sherman up top, looking at it, getting them in the right play.
3 wide for Carter on 3rd down and 4. On the run, he's got a man. 1st down and more for Norfolk State. Daquan Felton, the redshirt freshman, near midfield. 23-yard gain on 3rd down.
Daquan Felton, another receiver from the 757 in Portsmouth, Virginia, Churchland High School. Good job coming inside, giving his numbers to Carter for a big-time conversion there, almost a catch and run until he got tackled. But Coach Clausen, we even asked Coach Clausen about a couple players from Norfolk State that he liked, and he was one of them. Felton, big-time catch and converting for a 1st down.
Looked like Carter was planning to run when he left the pocket, but saw a receiver open near the hash marks and let it fly. Carter to throw. This time he will tuck it, evades a defender, and Carter near 1st down yardage. So Jaquan Carter is the offense here, EJ. That's an 8-yard gain, sets up 2nd down and short. He's accounted for about 80% of Norfolk State's yards today. And
Drew, watch the feet of the quarterback, moving up in the pocket, getting them up and high knees right there. Love to see that breaking out to the sideline. This young man is going to be effective all year long for the Spartans. He is deadly on 3rd down, especially when he breaks the pocket.
Yeah, he's a really good player. He's played every game of his collegiate career. He took that starting job over in his 3rd game as a true freshman and has not given it up since. Year 5 in the program. 2nd down and 2. Carter to throw. Nowhere to run, and he's wrestled down right on top of the F. Luigi Villain is a villain in Carter's nightmares tonight. Loss of 5 on the sack.
And Drew, this is the first time that I saw Wake Forest actually keep him in the pocket. Sometimes you can't rush a quarterback like him. You just gotta kind of stock block, hold the offensive linemen, keep them in their spot, because eventually Carter's gonna try to move up and get out the pocket. So Villain just pretty much falls right there into a sack. Great job stock blocking, 3rd and 6 opportunity. See if Wake Forest defense can get off the field.
Spartans 7 of 11 on 3rd down today. Kevin Johnson, the running back. 3 wide receivers to the left. Carter looks right. Up top looking for Felton, the big-bodied redshirt freshman. And nice coverage from Gavin Holmes. Freshman on freshman brings up 4th down.
That's a good pre-snap look by the Wake defense, showing a double-A mug, then press coverage in the secondary, forcing Jaquan Carter to get that ball out of his hand. Trying to throw a fade route right there to Felton. Incomplete. Should be a punt opportunity here for the Spartans, giving that ball back to the Demon Deacons.
Ryan Richter out to kick it away for the Spartans. Has not had a punt blocked yet today. Why is that significant? He had 2, both returned for touchdowns last week at Toledo. His 4th punt today, lost it, and it's blocked right on cue. Wake Forest tries to fall on it. It is a loose ball. No one can get on top of it, and finally the Deacons have it. That thing had some grease on it. and Rondell Bothroyd finally scoops it up.
Playing a little game of hot potato right here. What a bad snap by the long snapper. The punter trying to get it off. Bothroyd comes in and gets 2 hands on the ball and actually comes up with the recovery by the big man trying to pick it up and scoop and score. So make sure you secure that thing for your offense.
I beg your pardon, that was Luca Weber, the backup punter, who came in to try to kick it away for Norfolk State. And no matter who is back there to kick, they're having trouble protecting them. Beal-Smith is the running back for Wake Forest. He gets the call on 1st down and 10. So EJ, for Norfolk State, that's 2 games and 3 blocked punts. What do you think that's a result of?
Well, that one right there, Drew, was just the long snapper. I'm assuming Zach Denton not getting the ball up enough for the punter. You put him in a bad situation. When a punter has to put his eyes down, it's going to make it hard for him. Got an injured player here, Christian Beal-Smith.
Beal-Smith a little banged up. We'll be back. Hopefully he's okay. EJ.
Absolutely. We do not want this young man to get hurt. It's too important to this Wake Forest offense. Been having a great day.
He's their starting running back, but they've got depth there. Christian Turner, the transfer from Michigan, makes the catch out of the backfield on 2nd down.
And Drew, you definitely don't want to have your starting running back, or really any one of your starters, having a serious injury in a game early in the season like this. You're up 34-9. This is 3rd quarter. Make sure you come out of this thing scot-free as far as injuries.
Hartman on 3rd down. Got a man wide open. Keyshawn Williams, the freshman out of Philly, inside the 10.
These are great rep opportunities for these young receivers. Keyshawn Phillips is going to come across in motion. Just fill out, kind of like a little option route outside, in the flat. Great catch, great throw. Nice 1st down conversion there. The young man putting down his shoulder, trying to get extra yards for this Deacon offense. Another clean.
Keyshawn Williams had his first career touchdown. First career touchdown last week against Old Dominion. 8 different receivers for Sam Hartman today. Hartman now split out wide at the top of your screen. Wake Forest goes Wildcat on 1st down and goal. Turner, the running back, with the snap. Directly into the end zone.
Beautiful. And Drew, I told you I like that Wildcat formation because what you have, a lead blocker, the tight end coming across. That right side of this offensive line is strong, and Loic Nagasamanaya, tight end coming through. And there's Blake Whiteheart paving the way, walk-in touchdown for Christian Turner. That's exactly what Coach Clausen talked about yesterday on production meeting. He wants to see them punch it in down there in the low red, running the football. Big-time game, big-time touchdown.
Christian Turner scored his first career Wake Forest touchdown earlier in the game, and he's now got 2 in 1 against Norfolk State. 4 rush touchdowns for Wake Forest. They lead 41-9. Hey, next week, Wake Forest inducts its newest Hall of Fame members, which includes NBA star Chris Paul. You might have heard of him, and their quarterback with the most wins in program history, Riley Skinner. Skinner captained the Deacs to their best run of success in program history from 2006 to 2008. He led them to 28 wins, including 3 wins over Florida State. This dude was legit, EJ.
Yes, he was. Riley Skinner was kind of the demise of the Seminoles during his time there at Wake Forest. A great quarterback, a great guy. Jacksonville native, I think. So it's been awesome to have him still be a part of the ACC, but you see here making big plays with his feet, getting the ball up and down, throwing touchdowns. Grew up watching Riley Skinner. Very deserving of this Hall of Fame opportunity. Congratulations to you, sir.
Yeah, when you check out the Wake Forest record books, Riley Skinner's name is at the top of every passing category. You see how good they were for those 3 years under Jim Grobe, 28-12, and they won the ACC championship in 2006 over Georgia Tech. So it was all roses for Riley Skinner. He must have been thinking, FSU has got nothing. We've got their number. This is easy. Chalk up a W every time you see the Seminoles on the scoreboard. Well, then a young man from the 757, the freshman E.J. Manuel, showed up and decided to change things. Again, Skinner, no issues with the Seminoles' defense, but the offense with a young number 3 was the problem.
Yeah, Drew, a young quarterback right there, getting his first opportunity, a first start. Remember that day like it was yesterday. Jimbo called a great game for me just to get my confidence, and had a talk with Coach Bobby Bowden, the late great. Just calm me down before this start. We actually had to win 2 of the last 3 games in our regular season to be bowl eligible, to keep that streak going. 28 bowl games every year for the Seminole program. So that was a huge win, a huge vote of confidence for me as a youngin'.
Now, because E.J. Manuel is way too humble, let me give you the rundown from that game. Your first career start and your first 5 drives, you score on all of them. You complete 75% of your passes. You're the ACC Rookie of the Week. I know you don't want to talk about it, E.J., but I will, because that was a great game for you, led to great things in Tallahassee.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I said, I remember it like it was yesterday, and a huge opportunity naturally as a young kid, 19 years old, getting a chance to start. Christian Ponder's out. Got to lead the team to victory. The only way to do it was to beat Wake Forest. It started off well for them.
Norfolk State back on offense, and Jawan Carter, a lot like E.J. Manuel, throws on the run. 5-yard gain on the completion to Daquan Felton. And you mentioned Coach Bowden there, recently passed away, and our thoughts are with you, E.J., and everyone who loved him so much. And that includes Riley Skinner. They had a lot of great competitions as well, and you see Riley Skinner say his top career moment, senior day against FSU, Bobby Bowden in peak form there as he talks with Riley Skinner.
Skinner was a true legend coming out of Wake Forest, and Coach Bowden had so much respect for him. Actually, our entire team did, 3-0 for that senior year. Got to make a change to that.
2-yard gain for Raekwon Smith. Bobby Bowden was happy to see Riley Skinner graduate. You got a chance to play for Coach Bowden, EJ. I'm sure a lot of great memories there, and again, we're so sorry for your loss. You know, everyone in that Florida State family, really the college football family, has been mourning Bowden. What a legacy.
Yeah, a great legacy, and thank you, Drew. We lost a great man, a great coach, someone that was so pivotal in so many young men's and women's lives. Everybody he touched just felt better after you talked to him. Always had great energy. He's one of those guys, he was the same person every single day. Definitely miss Coach Bowden, but the legacy that he left behind is only one that we all could try to be like at some point in our lives.
There is no doubt. On the kick return, it's Keyshawn Williams putting a couple Spartans in the spin cycle. Great punt from Luca Weber after his last one was blocked. 53-yard punt, but it's a 26-yard return for Keyshawn Williams. And it sets up Wake Forest with great field position. Had to backpedal to get that one, EJ, but he's got the speed to make up for it.
And Drew, Coach Clausen has a lot of pride when it comes to returning punts. He actually said he works with the punt returners since he's been the head coach here at Wake Forest. Talk about Jasir Taylor, this young man, Keyshawn Williams. You got to go out there and do a great job because Coach is not going to put you out there unless he can trust you with the football. Excellent return by the young freshman receiver, Keyshawn Williams out of Philadelphia.
Yeah, BJ, Coach Clausen was telling us that kick returners, you think you want speed, right? You see the seam, you hit it, and you're gone. Punt returners, it's more important to have a little wiggle, a little shake and bake, and we saw both from Keyshawn Williams there.
It's pretty amazing the plethora of information we get and the knowledge that we have just talking to these coaches for a half hour. So much football, actually kind of get my football juices going. You know, I usually work in the studio. Having those production meetings on the weekends, man, it actually takes me back to getting prepped for a game. A lot of fun, having conversations with Norfolk State's coaches and Wake Forest coaches.
Yeah, it is very cool, and those guys are open books. That was Quentin Cooley on that carry, first carry he's seen today. A new quarterback for Wake Forest, that's Leo Kelly. Sam Hartman's day could be over, up 41-9. Kelly keeps it himself. Near midfield, Deshawn Dixon on the stop. Kelly, a 6'3", 227 redshirt freshman out of Moncton, Maryland. Backing up Sam Hartman. And, you know, we've been talking a lot about depth, EJ. You mentioned the meeting with Coach Clausen. That's what he's harping on this year is depth. If you want to go from good to great, he thinks his starters can compete with anyone in this league. But it's the depth that separates those programs. That includes the quarterback position, too.
Absolutely. You're going to have a good backup, whether it's Griffiths, Kern, or Kelly. Say if Sam Hartman goes out there, his helmet comes off, he has to come out for a play. You have to have someone that you can put out in the game, trust him, see what he does here with a couple throws. Actually, I had a chance to go and watch him during practice. He was very impressive. I would say all these quarterbacks were, with just their accuracy, especially down the red zone, some of the back sort of fades they threw, understanding of how to get out of a bad play, get them into a good play. Short series right there for Kelly, but this young man can ball. 6'3", 227, big guy too.
Yeah, he got in the game last week against Old Dominion. Didn't throw a pass, though. That time, though, on third down, no dice. And for the first time today, Ivan Mora gets some action. First punt for Wake Forest deep into the third quarter. Fair catch made near the 10 by Kevin Smith. 45-yard punt. No return. So Norfolk State, as we mentioned, a real competitor in the MEAC, which is down to 6 teams this season. 3 of them left, and we've got a great spotlight on HBCUs this year here on ESPN. Remember, week 0, college game day in Atlanta. And EJ, as we go throughout the season, we are not stopping with that emphasis on HBCUs. A lot of great games here.
A lot of great football being played, Drew, and actually coming up, being that I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, my first college football experiences were with Norfolk State. My grandma, she graduated in 1961 from Norfolk State College at the time. My grandfather, Bill Dudley, was actually an assistant coach. My high school coach, Darnell Moore from Bayside, he was a head coach at one point. So a lot of great football being played in the MEAC Conference. It's been a good year for the Spartans. They showed well today.
Nothing doing on first down. DJ Taylor comes up for Wake Forest for a loss of 1 on J.J. Davis. And in the MEAC preseason poll, Norfolk State, even though Dawson Hodems, who you see on your screen there, only joined in May and hasn't had a whole lot of time to piece things together, the Spartans still projected to finish 2nd in this league.
Absolutely, and we talked to Coach Odoms about getting that culture back and the difference in the discipline, and he called it the process, Drew, and it's something that I love to hear from a new head coach, just understanding that, hey, it's not going to come overnight. Rome wasn't built in one day or one night, so it's going to take time here at Norfolk State. And these guys are going to get better. Obviously, they'll lose Juwan Carter after this season, so they definitely want to maximize what he can do as a 5th-year senior.
Carter on the throw. He's got Daquan Felton. 13-yard gain and a first down for Norfolk State. Yeah, Jalen Powell, one of the captains on this offense, as they protect Carter for that first down throw. He said Odoms has really renewed their enthusiasm. He said they got kind of complacent at Norfolk State. They didn't have a winning season for a decade. Odoms comes in, and he is not messing around. I mean, you can be one of the best players on this team, and if you do something off the field, discipline will come, no matter who you are.
Absolutely, Drew. And winning is a thought process, man. You can't just go up and show up on Saturdays and not do the right things Monday through Friday, building up to a game. So it starts with everything, whether it's showing up to class on time, getting to the weight room. Just Coach Odoms has talked about trying to get those relationships back also with the players in the Hampton Roads area. Plethora of talent out there. Definitely want to start getting some of those offers out to those kids and know that they have a home with the Norfolk State Spartans.
Yeah, he knows that. Okay, Manuel, back with you for Wake Forest and Norfolk State as we enter the 4th quarter. The Demon Deacons extremely efficient on offense. Their final real tune-up here before the ACC slate begins next week against Florida State. Norfolk State keeps it on the ground to begin the 4th. There's a flag on the play as J.J. Davis taken down by DJ Taylor.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 46. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Taylor makes the tackle, but he had a little help from the face mask. It'll be a first down for Norfolk State.
Yeah, usually when the referee throws a flag that quick off a running back or anybody getting tackled, it's more than likely to be a face mask there. DJ Taylor got to keep those hands inside. Use those shoulder pads and bring your feet, make a regular tackle.
Juwan Carter back to work for Norfolk State. They are an FCS school, but this is an FBS level quarterback. Carter lets it fly left side. Looking for Daquan Felton. A couple of Demon Deacons in the area. Kalen Carson on the primary coverage brings up second down. This Wake Forest defense, EJ, has looked pretty strong, especially after that first quarter when Norfolk State sustained a couple of drives. Ever since, Wake Forest has really tightened up.
Absolutely. The corners have done a great job sticking on these receivers, making sure the throws at least are contested. Kalen Carson doing an excellent job running with the receiver. Daquan Felton, not giving him anything easy, especially at this point. It's 41-9. But assume Norfolk State start taking some chances, put some shots downfield.
Carter on the handoff. Again, it's Davis. Chase Jones in on the stop for the Demon Deacons, gain of 4. And so we're starting to see the second and third string enter the game for Wake Forest. But even that characterization, I think Dave Clawson would push back on that, because second and third string implies that they're backups, and they're really not. I mean, that's the emphasis for Wake Forest this season. We're going to keep harping on it. It's all about depth here in Winston-Salem. And this is the best year to develop depth, because you've got some 6th year and 7th year seniors. You've got 3rd year freshmen. And Clawson says that, yeah, everyone has depth, but this is a real opportunity for this program.
Yeah, and these are great reps and opportunities for these guys. As you see, coming in with a little bit of pressure with Travion Red, forcing the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands. Juwan Carter being so resourceful. Yeah. Being able to move up in the pocket. Got an injury here.
Carter with the Houdini act for the first down. Injured Spartan on the field. That's DeMontre Smith. We'll check on it.
Duke, he has ACC ties. So this could be a trap game for the Hurricanes. They're going to have to bring it today.
Juwan Carter hits his man, Daquan Felton, to the 25 of Wake Forest. You got to hand it to Manny Diaz and Miami. They're not messing around with this schedule. You mentioned Alabama, week 1, neutral site, then App State. Miami's non-conference is kind of a beast this year.
This is definitely a beast, and they got Michigan State after that. And you talk about Kenneth Walker and the fact that he's moved on. He had 200 yards in the first game last weekend. So tough sledding for the Hurricanes, but this is obviously a game they have to win, considering the way they played last weekend versus Alabama. They got to get that bad taste out of their mouth and move forward.
1st and 10 for Juwan Carter. Looking to the corner, and Felton again. That one's toward the cheerleaders. Did you ever hit a cheerleader with a pass when you were at FSU?
Thankfully, I have not, but I'm going to say he should have caught that pass right there. He looked like he might have played in high school or something, kind of a big guy. But nah, never hit any cheerleaders. Maybe in middle school playing dodgeball or something like that, but not with the football. It could have been dangerous.
Right. No injuries, though. No injuries to report. That's the key. Wake Forest defense has really put the clamps on this Norfolk State offense. And for the Demon Deacons, they're building something on the defensive side of the ball. 23 drives this year, only allowed 2 touchdowns so far. Now they're after Carter again, looking to escape one more time. Luigi Villain ushers him out of bounds behind the original line of scrimmage.
And Drew, I don't think some of these young quarterbacks in college understand when you just run to the sideline and you get tackled or pushed out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage, that's considered a sack. So your offensive line doesn't like that. And I always like to tell a quarterback, hey man, when you break the pocket, you can't get positive yards. Throw that ball away. Don't worry about your completion percentage. You just don't want to add a sack to that stat column because the offensive line's not going to like that one.
Right. He's in the completion percentage savings club. It's kind of like in basketball when you don't shoot the buzzer beater from 75. You want to keep your stats looking nice.
Oh, yeah.
3rd down and long for Carter. They've converted a few of these today, but this time it's picked off. Kalen Carson flies in for the interception, and this guy's a game breaker. Look out. Carson bounces off some Spartans. He's outside his own 30-yard line. A 32-yard return for Kalen Carson.
Talk about a big play right here by Kalen Carson. Coming up with a huge interception. Carter trying to force a pocket, deliver a dime to his receiver streaking across, Donald Stewart. And here, I love this play. The offensive line creating the time, creating the patience for Sam Hartman to get off a great touchdown throw to Jaquarii Roberson. This guy's going to be a serious problem for all ACC defenses moving forward, Drew.
Yeah, AJ, Sam Hartman. 8 different receivers today, and he's talked a lot about, and his coaches have talked a lot about how he's developing chemistry with the entire receiver room. Not just Jaquarii Roberson, who was really his go-to guy last year. You know, we asked him this week, who's your go-to guy? If you got to have him, if you're on third down. He said, honestly, I really don't have just one. Last year, candidly, yeah, it probably would have been Roberson. This year, it's anyone that's on the field.
He has so many weapons, Drew. A.T. Perry, 6'5". A guy that can catch those 50-50 balls down the red zone. We've seen Taylor Morin also getting busy in the return game. Donald Stewart, those deep crossing routes. Keyshawn Williams, Jamal Banks, 2 freshmen that are going to play a huge role in this offense for Sam Hartman. And also, I just want to talk about the way that he's grown as a quarterback with his mind. Just moving on from a bad play, not letting one bad play turn into 2. Finished the season kind of not how he wanted, with a couple interceptions in that Wisconsin game and the bowl game. He said he learned from that. I've been in that situation. I've thrown 3 picks in a game, and it's tough on a quarterback. The biggest thing you have to have is a short-term memory, because you're going to get another opportunity with that football. And he's doing an excellent job moving this offense, getting the win in this game.
Yeah, the offensive coordinator, Warren Ruggiero, is telling us that if you looked at Hartman's play sheet when he was a freshman, you'd see plus, 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 minus, and then after that minus, it's minus, 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 because one bad play would turn into a bunch. This year, it's much different. It's a bunch of pluses. If there's a minus, doesn't matter. It just goes right back to the plus column.
And Drew, I've charged that to just being young, being immature, but also just want to be a perfectionist. Naturally, us as quarterbacks, we're built in our mind to be perfect. We always want our our I's dotted and our T's crossed. And when we don't have that, when things don't go the way we expected them to in a game, it's going to bother us. But naturally, you have to understand, football is an imperfect sport. So things are going to happen. You're going to throw interceptions. You're going to have fumbles. Offensive line's not always going to be perfect in protection. You just got to learn to pat yourself on the butt and move forward, because that offense and actually that entire team is looking at you for leadership.
Leo Kelly is the quarterback in the game for Wake Forest, looking to establish himself as the backup in this Demon Deacons offense. Nice throw on the run. A little too high for his receiver that time, though. Brings up 2nd down and 10. And EJ, Sam Hartman's career has really been defined by handling adversity. He actually started his first career game as a true freshman against Tulane. They went to double overtime. But Dave Clawson says, to be honest, he really didn't earn that starting job. It was more circumstantial. You had some suspensions and some injuries ahead of him on the depth chart. So he ended up as the starter, but he lost the job the following year in 2019 when Jamie Newman came in and went on a run. And Clawson says that the way Sam Hartman handled that set the table for the rest of his career. He handled it maturely, like an adult, and that allowed him to kind of get the locker room back when it was his turn to start.
Absolutely. In that 2019 season, he still was actually able to put up 830 yards. And actually, a game versus Florida State, he had a season high for himself, 308 in the Knowles victory. So Sam Hartman is one of those guys that, no matter the situation, he just wants his team to win. Of course, he wants to be the starting quarterback, and he is now. But he certainly handled that situation when Jamie Newman was the starter. And sometimes when you take a step back, you're able to learn. He was a freshman the year before in 2018. A lot of things to learn from the tape. So it actually was a benefit for him. You get a chance to learn in 2019, see the good and the bad that Jamie Newman did. Obviously had a solid year in 2020, expecting an even bigger year here in 2021.
Kelly on the rollout. That pass is incomplete as well. And, you know, for Hartman, it would have been easier for him to sulk. That's an interception. Wow.
Yep.
Norfolk State picks it off. Ricky Harleston comes away with the pick. And so Leo Kelly on the run finds a man, but he's wearing the wrong uniform. And Norfolk State takes over. When we is back out on the field, although the Demon Deacons have been efficient offensively, especially with the first teamers in. Sam Hartman's day is done. And they still lead 41-9 over Norfolk State. Looking to move to 2-0 before the ACC slate begins next week against Florida State. On 1st down and 10, Norfolk State reaches into the bag and pulls out a jet sweep to Kevin Johnson, their starting running back, who's got a solid gain on 1st down. It'll bring up 2nd down and 1.
Kevin Johnson, one of those guys, you just want to give him opportunities out in space, showing his speed, his quickness, his shakiness. 9-yard gain there for the Spartans. That's actually a pass, Drew, if you didn't know. That's like a little bump pass. So if he would have scored a touchdown, he'd go in the touchdown category for a pass.
There's a big-time gain for Norfolk State. And one of those 4 running backs they rotate through, J.J. Davis, on a 34-yard gain, takes him into the red zone.
And this is what a defensive coordinator for Wake Forest is going to hate. You have your corner outside, Isaiah Wingfield. He has to come up and make that tackle, guys. He's the last man of leverage on the outside. Now, you do get a great block by Ellington, sticking his shoulder and his nose in there. And obviously a great run by J.J. Davis. But on the defensive side, Wingfield, you got to come up and make that big tackle. You're the last man of defense.
That's Norfolk State's longest play of the day, 34 yards for J.J. Davis. Now in the red zone, Carter floats it out of bounds back toward the cheerleaders.
Smart.
Jalen Hudson
decision.
applies the pressure.
Smart decision. And we've been seeing this all day from Jamal Carter. Maybe 1 or 2 where he just, tried to slough off out of bounds, which is considered a sack here. But it's going to have pressure from his right side, trying to work a little slant flat combo. It's not there. Chuck it out of bounds. Love when I see quarterbacks do that. You live to play the next down.
Smart play from the 5th-year senior out of Richmond, Virginia. Preseason offensive player in the MEAC. Four wide for Carter. Johnson is the running back to his left. Justin Smith on the screen, navigating through Deeks. Solid game.
True, Justin Smith's had a day. Really like it. Maybe not a lot of production as far as yardage, but he's shown up a lot in this game. They're calling his name all day long. I think he's going to be one of those receivers once they get into their conference schedule. See possibly 800,000 yards from this guy. Has a lot of wiggle, plays with confidence, understands the getting the holes of a defense, showing his number for Carter. I like him a lot.
Yeah, Smith had 639 yards and 6 touchdowns back in 2019. Those marks both led the team. Then he had that 47-yard touchdown at Toledo last week. Carter to throw, rolling to his right. Felton's open. He finds him. Great open field tackle. Isaiah Wingfield, the Harvard transfer, on the stop, but there is a flag on the field.
Like to see Wingfield come up and make that tackle. Missed one a few plays ago. Make up for it right there. Defensive coordinator might not come at him as hard now that he made up for it.
He's got to be happy. He got an opportunity to make up for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. When you get late in a game like this, you just want to play clean. You want to make sure you're getting guys down on the ground, especially on defense.
Personal foul. Participating after losing his helmet. Defense number 93. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
So it's a personal foul against Wake Forest. When you lose your helmet, you can't keep playing. As gritty as that is, as much as your coaches might love it, you're technically not allowed to do it. So that sets up Norfolk State in great position.
My question would be, well, what do you want him to do, sir? Do you want him to take a knee? Right. Or didn't look like he really pursued the quarterback that much. Didn't look like he touched Carter, so tough call right there.
Yeah, that was Isaiah Chaney, the reserve defensive lineman. Redshirt freshman out of Georgia. So Norfolk State now first and goal from the 4. Carter, man, wide open. Touchdown Spartans. Anthony Williams, the tight end, naked near the pylon.
Great throw right there by Carter. Understanding man versus zone. Right here it's man coverage. Excuse me, it's supposed to be zone. Corner outside. So Isaiah Wingfield comes inside thinking it's man. You have a wide open Anthony Williams, the tight end, out in the flank. Flat, easy touchdown.
Now from a Wake Forest perspective, if you're watching at home, you might be thinking, it's your backups. Doesn't really matter that you just allowed a touchdown, but the coaching staff in Winston-Salem feels differently, and so do the players. Suleiman Kamara, one of their leading defensive linemen, says we want there to be no drop-off. when the starters leave. We want it to still feel like the starters are in, but Norfolk State pieces together a nice drive and scores a touchdown. Wake Forest with a rock after Norfolk State's touchdown, and we're going to get another look at a different Demon Deacons quarterback. It is Santino Marrucci who's set to take the field for Wake Forest. He'll be the 5th quarterback we've either seen or seen on the depth chart so far in this 2021 season. As the kick goes out of bounds for Norfolk State, and Marrucci will have wonderful field position for his first drive of this 2021 season. He's a true freshman out of Jacksonville, 6'1", 203.
Great opportunity for a young man. Put out a good drive. Coaches want to see you operate the offense if you have to go in the game at some point in the season. Don't be nervous. Just take what the defense is giving you. You're being tutored by an excellent quarterback as Sam Hartman. See what Marrucci can do.
All about developing depth, and the running back next to him is Amani Marshall. This is the time to do it if you want to get your guys ready to go for ACC season. And that starts next week for Wake Forest. Florida State coming to town, one of the biggest events of the fall in Winston-Salem. Marrucci on the give. They let that mesh go. It gives it to Marshall, and he is swarmed by Spartans. So next Saturday here in Winston-Salem, Florida State comes to town. If you're Wake Forest, that's the kind of program you're trying to emulate as you develop this depth. Marrucci, by the way, a native of Jacksonville. There's another former Wake Forest quarterback from Jacksonville who's got some thoughts on that FSU Wake Forest game next week.
I wouldn't be shocked at all. In fact, I think they're going to win that football game. Given the first conference game at home, there's going to be a lot of energy back in the stadium. I think the way that Wake Forest's schedule is so back heavy, I think the Deeks and Coach Clawson realize if they can get over that hurdle of Florida State, it could snowball into a pretty big season going forward, given how the schedule is setting up.
Whoa! Riley Skinner with the bold prediction. EJ Manuel, your response?
Well, I usually like to keep my picks under wraps the week of, but I do agree. I think, look, if they can get past Florida State, not saying they will, but if they can, this will be a good, stretch for them. You got Virginia on the road. It's going to be a tough one. Bronco Mendenhall's team is going to be ready to go, especially at home at Louisville. Syracuse is playing better football. You got Army. So, Riley, you're not wrong, but nonetheless, you still got to go out there and make plays and win the game. But if Sam Hartman continues to play the way he's played today and last week, efficient, smart, confident, offensive line doing a great job protecting him, and they get a healthy Christian Beal-Smith. It'll be tough sledding for any team going against this Deacon football team.
Yeah, and they might have another running back on their hands. That's Amani Marshall, gain of 16. Looks like a battering ram through that Norfolk State defense on 2nd down and 20, sets up 3rd and short. I got to be honest with you, EJ, I'm disappointed. I was hoping you'd bring the fire and you'd come after Riley Skinner. maybe put a stake on it or something.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, Drew. Being that I work for the ACC Network, I have to be fair. Of course, I want my alma mater to win, and I'll have my game picked for next week. But, I think Riley's not wrong. He's just looking at it from an analytical way, maybe. And this is a good Wake Forest football team. So both teams are going to have to bring it. Florida State certainly got to bring it, like I said, on defense, because Sam Hartman is playing excellent football.
He is indeed. He had 7 drives today. Wake Forest scored on all 7 of them, hit 8 different receivers. One of his backups right now, Santino Marrucci, is in the game, brought down by Christian Ruffin, and brought down is generous. He was really wrangled down. Only the 2nd tackle for loss for Norfolk State's defense today. You see Mitch Griffiths talking with Hartman there, another one of those backups behind him. Yeah, this offense.
Let's talk about the reps. Let's talk about the reps that you get here late in the game. They're meaningful. For a lot of these young men that are freshmen, sophomore, don't get a lot of chances in practice. This is their all-star game. I want to see some clean looks from them.
Kevin Johnson back to receive, shakes out a 1 tackle, and he was brought down inside his own 20. No yards on the return of a 44-yard punt for Wake Forest. Check that, it was Justin Smith on the return. I mean, the offense is really scary, EJ, no matter who you are in the ACC. I know it's a really good conference. I know the schedule is really hard for Wake Forest, especially down the stretch. In your last 4 games, you go at Carolina versus NC State, at Clemson, at Boston College. That's tough. But Sam Hartman right now looks as good as any quarterback in the ACC, especially considering what we saw in week 1. Uiagalelei struggled. Howell struggled a little bit. Hartman, I know they're playing Old Dominion and Norfolk State, but it's smooth sailing for him right now.
Yeah, it has been smooth sailing, and what that does is it builds your confidence. Now, when they play Florida State, it's going to be a completely different ball game. You have Jermaine Johnson, Kier Thomas coming after him on the pass rush. Some better DBs, but nonetheless, he's looked great. Should be feeling good about himself and about his team. That's why these games early in the year are so important. Whether you have a big matchup versus a top 10 opponent, AP, or if you play ODU or Norfolk State, you just want to go out here and have a good showing and obviously come out of this game healthy if possible.
That was a big chunk for Lex Murphy. Lex Henry, I beg your pardon. 25-yard gain on the first play of the drive. Christopher Price in the game at quarterback for Norfolk State. Check that. Jonah Fitzgerald is the quarterback for the Spartans right now. And elsewhere in the ACC today, EJ, you mentioned Pittsburgh showing out for the conference up on Tennessee right now.
Pittsburgh already have 5 sacks on the day. They are known for a vicious defense, guys that can run and get after the quarterback. Good to see Georgia Tech, that bad taste out of their mouth from last weekend versus Northern Illinois, beating Kennesaw State, and obviously Virginia handling business, beating the Illini 42-14. Solid day, solid afternoon for the ACC so far.
Yeah, we'll show some love to Virginia. I mean, Illinois was America's sweetheart after they went into Lincoln and beat Nebraska in week 1. Everyone was on the Bielema bandwagon, but now Virginia kind of puts that to bed a little bit, dominating them.
Yeah, brought them back down to earth. And when I saw that game, Illinois versus Nebraska, I thought it was more Nebraska somewhat beating themselves. One of the kick returns or punt returns tries to fill the punt and throws the ball out of bounds, just giving easy field position for the Illini. So I think this Virginia football team is for real. Brennan Armstrong is a beast. This guy can throw, he can run. Got a big tight end from Oklahoma State. He'll be very good this year.
Yeah. Now, EJ, we were talking about how things are going to be different for Sam Hartman and company next week, going from playing Norfolk State to playing FSU. Hartman did tell us this week that they prepare for every game the same way. He said they're basically preparing as if they're playing Alabama this week. But you obviously played in the ACC. Is that real? Like, can you even do that? Or are you always thinking, okay, it's going to be a little different this week now playing a team like FSU?
Yeah, well, your preparation is always the same, Drew. I think you go about your business, the right way, whether it's a prediction of or trying to put together a good week of practice, being sharp, good in film room, making sure guys are, showing up, dotting their I's, crossing their T's, but the speed of the game is what's going to be the difference. Norfolk State, great program at the MEAC level, but Florida State is going to be bringing the boom, especially if they play anyway like they played versus Notre Dame last weekend. They played like they wanted to win that ball game. Great on defense. They didn't win it, but I'll take the moral victory and say they got it.
They are projected to win this MEAC conference, where Norfolk State will certainly be a contender.
Absolutely. And just to go back to what Wake has done offensively, you got to love the fact that they answered the bell. Coach Clausen talked about really getting that run game going. He wants these guys to be punishers. Over 4 touchdown rushes on the game, 2 by Christian Turner, the backup. So you can imagine when they have a full game with Christian Beal-Smith, the main bell cow, it'll be very hard to stop on the offensive side.
Yeah, Wake Forest scored on their first 7 drives today, and they never looked back. Sam Hartman, a perfect 7 for 7 in terms of scoring on drives. 400+ yards of offense, 4 touchdowns on the ground, 2 of them by Turner, as you said, EJ. And Wake Forest in cruise control for the 2nd week in a row. Demon Deacons move to 2-0, and now the real fun begins in Winston-Salem. Next week, Florida State comes to town. Well, EJ Manuel, for the folks at home, if you didn't know, this was his first time calling a game. You wouldn't have known if I didn't just say it. EJ, you were phenomenal, man. It's been a pleasure, brother.
Well, Drew, it was great to have this call with you. It's an honor to call it. Wake Forest.